Poisonrana.
Hello.
Hello.
Braden Herrington here with Davie Portman for Poisonrana Live. You found us in whatever podcast app you are using right now. And
we are live on youtube.com/@PoisonRanaPod. Hello, YouTube room. How are we doing?
Hello, all the frogs and the friends out there. We're here to talk about some wrestling. We're here to talk about a revolution. We're going to talk about AEW Revolution and everything else going on in the world of pro wrestling. And I'm seeing some peeps in the chat already. Yes, a rare Monday 1 p.m. hangout with the BDE. Maybe you're at work. Maybe you're having lunch. Maybe you're waking up. Maybe it's 3 days later. I don't know where you are right now, but we're happy you're here with us today.
I always love when we do a different time and we see the different names in the chat and they're like, oh shit, you're live now. Cool, I can watch this for once. So welcome. Hello, H-Town. Hello, Jake. Hello, Surin. Welcome. Hello, everyone else.
See you. Yes, throw the frogs up in the chat. Always appreciate everyone out there. It's also 316 day. So
yeah,
happy,
it's my mom's birthday.
Happy birthday, Davie's mom day. So there you go. It would be cool if Austin's birthday was also today. I guess it kind of is. It's probably bigger than his birthday because they've definitely turned it into a holiday in the world of wrestling with what I saw was WrestleMania tickets on 316 day sale.
Really? Yeah, I know they've got a huge sale on the shop as well right now.
Yeah.
I'll have a little look at that, see if there's anything. Probably shipping when tariffs will still kill us here, but
right. Yes, of course.
Yeah, we'll see what the discounts are today.
Well, happy 316 day, which means St. Patrick's Day just around the corner, Slancha, if you will. We will be going live tomorrow night with a St. Patrick's Day edition of Up Next. So join us here, well, actually at Post Wrestling on the Post Wrestling YouTube and feed, because we'll talk all about, I'm sure, Monday Night Raw tonight and NXT tomorrow night and everything else going on in the world of WWE land and whatnot, and St. Patrick's Day shenanigans or whatever. But happy 316 day, for those who celebrate. Raise some hell today. Drink a beer, flip off your boss.
There's an auction going on right now on WWE shop.com. The knee brace that Austin wore at WrestleMania 38, specifically the right knee brace.
I really wanted the left, though.
The current bid is $35,515.
Wow.
A autographed winged eagle replica belt. All eagles have wings. $1,230. And a picture of Austin holding the smoking skull belt, currently $205. So there's still these rich wrestling fans out there somehow.
What wasn't it Logan Paul who was recently talking about how he was bidding on Hogan's Madison Square Garden WrestleMania?
That's right, yeah.
Got beat, so he let the person take it for over $1 million, which is pretty crazy. I don't think I'm wearing a Stone Cold hat, but I don't know if I have a 316 shirt somewhere. I know my buddy our buddy Shane has the Smoking Skull title now. But I don't know if it's signed. But that's
I should be
cool.
wearing I didn't think I should be wearing my t-shirt right now.
Your Stone Cold. Oh, your Jack Daniels one?
Yeah.
The one that makes you look like you vote a certain way. I mean, I'm wearing this hat. I look like definitely I'm going hunting and I love guns or something. But you can like beer and flip off your boss and still have morals, I guess. This is what I learned from Stone Cold. He's a great inspiration for young people, because even though he was going around hitting stunners on people, he still has respect, and he treats his cats with respect too. So you can tell a lot by a man how he handles his cats, I guess.
Yes.
But yeah, I've been loving his videos on Instagram, if you know what I'm talking about, with his, was it Chico? He's
a pretty funny guy. I think one of his cats was called Moolah, I think, for a while. I don't know if that one's still around, but certainly when he was doing the podcast, he'd talk about them. You
used to see him drinking wine. It's so funny.
Sure. He likes his margaritas as well.
True. Yes. Yeah.
It's similar to the Mean Gene, where it's like, oh, this is the authentic Stone Cold recipe. It's like 3 ounces tequila, 1.5 ounces of Cointreau, and then a squeeze of lime juice, and there's your margarita.
Sounds great.
Yeah,
sounds really good. Well, we had a get together last night for Revolution. We had some boys over and we watched the pay-per-view. You made some tacos. You didn't make any margaritas, but that's okay. We had some tacos. We had some bevies, and then we didn't dual screen with the Oscars, but our friend Reckless Rob had a little bit of a Revolution / Oscars. What do you call that? What did he do? What is that? Like a
like a pool, like a predictor pool kind of thing.
Yeah, like you X'd out who you thought was going to win, and he had all the Oscar categories and all the Revolution matches, and then shocker, Rob won, so rigged. I think he tied with Graham actually, so clearly they know the most about movies and the most about wrestling. But
so and you doing your best when someone in the room is like, I don't want to hear anything. I've recorded the entire show. It's like, cool, I won't tell you anything, but I can't believe Leo, Timothy, Wagner, and Ethan Hawke didn't win Best Actor. And you're like, great, thanks.
No, that's not what happened. No, that's not what happened.
I won't say who won Best Supporting, but Sean Penn didn't turn up to receive his award. I'm like, cool, thanks. You're really going out your way to not spoil anyone here.
Graham got just guessed. Like he saw my reaction. I was like, oh, Best Actor. And then he looked at my face. He's like, you're angry. I'm like, yeah, I am. And then he's like, Michael B. Jordan won, didn't he? I was like, well, yeah, but you said not to. He's like, don't even say it. I'm like, well, you just, all right. Well, you guessed it. And like, yeah, all right. And I like Michael B. Jordan. I just was rooting for my boy Timothy, but I'm kind of happy to see Michael B. Jordan win something too, because he's a fantastic actor. But then we watched the monologue after. I thought Conan was okay. I was kind of expecting a bit more.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed with with
although it must
be honest.
Is it hard?
And I like
now?
Conan.
Yeah, like I think he's pretty funny. I wonder like how difficult it is to make everyone laugh, and I don't know, try to keep things. I don't know. Something was not, it wasn't as funny. Something was not.
I think things like the Oscars are difficult with everything going on right now, like politically and wars, and lots of big names in Hollywood being outed as being not very nice people. It's kind of hard to celebrate all these artists on that night, and I think I felt his monologue was trying to kind of navigate that a bit, and I thought a lot of it fell a little flat.
Yeah, and like I'm happy. I didn't see all the movies this year, but the movies that I did see, like I really enjoyed. I thought Sinners was one of the standouts this year, but One Battle After Another winning Best Picture, like that seems to be like unanimous. Like everyone this year was like, "Oh, this movie was
love that film.
So good." Yeah, so like that definitely I think wasn't necessarily a shocker, but I was pretty shocked. My favorite was Marty Supreme, and it went 0-9, 9 nominations, 0 wins, and it's the most Marty Supreme thing, really, that could happen to that movie. But I loved it, and I still will continue to watch it. And I'm trying to think of Frankenstein. Was won a few awards as well, but yeah, there were some good movies this year, and I'm happy to see certain people like Ryan Coogler, who like Black Panther and all that, like crazy to finally see him get some love and everything too. So yeah, yay for movies and cinema. Oh, and the K-pop Demon Hunters, of course, the song that I keep hearing in every store. Do stores just play this on repeat? It's going up, up, up. I'm like, man. Everywhere I go, I keep hearing that song. I had no idea it was from this movie because I've not watched it, but apparently it's pretty good. Apparently it's good. Everyone says it's good, but got to check it out. But yeah, there you go. There's our Oscars review. We didn't double screen, but I saw people still, friends were going to Oscar parties and stuff. Like it's still a thing, but I don't know. Maybe
I'd have paid more attention this year if it didn't fall on the state with Revolution.
I would have watched it if it wasn't.
Oscars are things I enjoy, but I can miss it. I'm okay.
We chose the wrestling, which is cool considering this was like in California, like in LA, right? Like the Staples Center, crypto, whatever scam arena. And like, that's crazy that they managed to like fill that place, not like sell it out the same time as the Oscars. Like that's,
I mean, is this an indication of how AEW is doing as well? Because they ran the same event in the same arena last year, and this outsold it. I think they were around the 11,000 mark this year, and I believe it was over 12,000 this year. So shifting some more tickets. They certainly, I thought on the show, they were really trying to show how big AEW can be, right? We were noticing, watching the show yesterday, a lot more crowd shots. Definitely seemed whoever's in the like camera operator's ear is going, try and find as many young females in the audience who are enjoying themselves to show in between these matches. But yeah, lots more camera shots in this. And definitely, I think it's something we've been critical about in the past. Like we went to that first Grand Slam and stuff, and I didn't necessarily think they shot it in a way that showcased how impressive 20,000 people is. And I thought this one, they kind of got the memo, and they were doing a lot of it. And I think they really tried to make Revolution a big show, and, you know, some newsworthy things, not just the match quality, which is always great, but some big signings and returns and stuff like that. And it really felt like trying to make a statement, I thought, with this show, and try to like see if we can keep that momentum going moving forward.
Absolutely. I definitely felt a difference with the way it was shot and some of the camera shots and like the you know, that blurring thing you can do. So whatever you do focus on, like, looks even more like HD. They were doing a lot of that. And the entrance camera, like WWE does, it makes it look like, you know, the 4K or whatever cameras that like really stand out. Again, I think it's like the blurring thing, but I noticed a lot more the fan things, like, it's good, but they did it maybe like a little bit too much. But I understand why they do it.
You got to pick your moments, don't you?
I understand why they do it, but I definitely, like, it was a bit jarring considering they don't always do. But you're totally right. Like, we've been to a lot of these older shows which had like insane amount of people, and then AEW had that dip where like the audience numbers were a little bit lower, and then now they're definitely finding a sweet spot of like, hey, if we have a sold out arena, we are going to A, let you know, and B, show a lot more of it.
I wonder if, because I think there's been, and we'll be getting on to Ronda Rousey in a bit, but there's been a lot of chatter recently about obviously WrestleMania ticket prices, or just WWE ticket prices in general, and how it's pricing fans out, how fans are, you know, not watching WWE as much. Like, everything, the TV's down, the ticket attendances are down. Like, they're still doing great, they're still making money, but there's less people going or interested, and a lot of that is due to money. And, you know, people need their money right now. There's a lot of bad shit going on. Whereas AEW, a lot of interviews have been, you know, MJF saying you don't need to mortgage your house to come here. You're having wrestlers like Swerve and David Finlay being like, hey, I chose here because they're paying me what I'm worth. I'm getting paid very well in AEW. And then you're seeing Ronda in interviews with this, you know, Gina Carano MVP thing, saying, Netflix, you know, since TKO's taken over, they're not putting on the best fights. They're putting on cost-effective fights, and they're not paying their people properly. And I wonder if that kind of leaks down visually to this production, where you watch, you know, Elimination Chamber or Monday Night Raw, and it's, look, here's Fluffy reacting to this. Here's Vanessa Hudgens reacting to this. Here's Little Yachty reacting to this. And AEW, I'm
surprised you know who that is.
And, well, I actually watch WWE, Braden, so I see these people. Whereas in AEW, it's like, look, here's you. Here's the people. Like, you can come to this. You can afford to come to our shows and sit through some awesome wrestling and stuff. So I wonder if that was because it was way more fans, not just in the building, but just showcased on the show than we're used to.
Absolutely. Like, WWE, I feel like I'm watching ads with some wrestling sprinkled in, if I'm fucking lucky. And then I watch this and it's like, look what the focus is here. And you're hearing all these people. I loved a lot of the interviews MJF has been doing the last little while. Like, he is definitely like showing like, okay, I'm still the prick and the bad guy, or what does he call him? The scumbag, right? But like, he is waving that flag for AEW very proudly and very well done. Like, I definitely think he's the company guy right now, and maybe that's a reason why business is up right now with this run and all these different challengers and where things are going. But as much as WWE gets popular, wrestling as a whole gets popular, as we always say. But like, I'm always thrilled to see when these shows do good. In fact, I'm always rooting for an AEW, or back in the day a TNA or a Ring of Honor, because I want to see the underdog promotions and your indie promotions do well up against like the giant machine that is WWE. And I'll always be like that. I'm like that with my movies and my music and everything. Like, you don't like, I always want to see the alternative do well, if not surpass creatively, artistically, in any sort of media or entertainment. And I definitely feel like way more of a fan than AEW than WWE, especially in the last few months, especially the last year, where I've just felt like every time I watch it, I am like super enthusiastic. I'm super like excited. And then I watch it and then I'm like, wow, this like knocked it out the park. Like, it's very rare on occasion when I watch AEW and I'm like, oh, that fucking sucked. That stunk. Very, very rare. I'm usually like, this was A, worth my time, and B, worth my money. And watching this show here is like a prime example. And I wonder, was this like someone's first time watching an AEW pay-per-view? You would say they probably will now watch AEW. Like, after watching a show like this is a prime example of like, oh shit, this was pretty good. Maybe I should watch this more often. I got a few messages from some friends who are usually like a little iffy, like, oh, I'm watching this. I tuned in during who's this? Mistico is awesome. I'm like, okay. Clearly you don't watch a lot, but okay, at least you're watching now, like, kind of thing. So like, after watching a show like this, you're like, oh shit, I wonder, like, will this, you know, get more attention and more eyes on a different product? And that's not to say I'm not, like, as much as right now, personally, not necessarily enjoying WWE as a product, but there's still plenty of people that do. And look, like WrestleMania, okay, ticket sales are down, but ticket sales are still really good. TV, Netflix, all this stuff is still insanely good for pro wrestling. And if you're listening to a podcast about pro wrestling, you're probably a big enough fan to have had many people in your life be like, oh, fucking wrestling is so stupid, it's fake. But right now, you're seeing less of that because it's just so popular and so in people's faces and everything. And I love to see that. But hot show yesterday, definitely like feeling like, whoa, I can't, like, watching. I feel like I said the other week, like, when I watch WWE, it's like almost like WrestleMania is your season finale, except you can buy a ticket and go to it. So like, think of any TV show you watch where it's like, okay, but the finale is going to have this epic fight or reveal or something, but you can actually choose to go there if you have the money and time, I guess. Whereas like WWE, I'm not necessarily like, oh man, really wish I could be going to WrestleMania. Whereas I watched Revolution, I'm like, shit, man, how much are flights to Vancouver? How much are flights to go to Queens and stuff? Like, it definitely makes me how I have felt about WWE long time ago, if that makes sense. Like, you can choose to go to these things, which is like, I don't know. I mean, we're going to Dynasty, but like, I would now, if I watch this, be like, oh, fuck that. I got to go to this next one because I'm so excited about watching this wrestling. So yeah, I'm gonna say, like, you can like whatever you want, and I hope that people watch stuff and I hate the like, oh well, because I like this, therefore this is shit, or I hate this and like you should like. I hate
it. Makes no sense to me.
I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Just because, you know, what I eat don't make you shit, essentially. Like, just because certain people don't like certain things, but you can choose not to watch it and not to like it. But I am interested in the people who just always say no to, you know, a New Japan or now an AEW or a TNA back in the day. Like, they're so WWE pilled, if you will, that like, you know, those people from years, even as a kid, like, if it doesn't happen in WWE, it didn't happen, or it doesn't exist, essentially. And I'm sick of those days. We want alternatives and people crossing over and whatnot. But yeah, anyways, I'm jacked up.
Well, let's get into the show because we've got about 16 matches to talk about.
Oh, man. Was there 16 matches?
No, I think, 0 hours, 3. And then I think we had, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on the main show. So 13 matches in total. We didn't really watch much of the 0 hour. I was prepping the food and people were arriving. So missed the, unfortunately, Boom and Doom. Big Boom, AJ, and QT Marshall.
Look, I wanted AJ on the show and I got Big Boom AJ, but it's on the pre-show. I watched the clip of it today because I did miss it yesterday because I was on my way to yours to watch the main show. But because they're in LA, they sent Big Boom AJ, Big Justice, and the Rizzler to the New Japan dojo to train. And I knew something was afoot when I saw the Rizzler in a New Japan ring training. So Big Boom AJ could be in the G1 this year. I'm really looking forward to that. But the Rizzler took a bump. You know, every year in wrestling, we kind of look at the trend. Like, you know, kissing each other was a trend a few years ago. Like death match is definitely in again. This year is kids wrestling because Rizzler took a bump from Shane Taylor. And you could tell he was like prepared for it because he put his hands up and ate a bump. I was like, this is ridiculous. This is a kid. And then we got Joey Janela fighting Brody Jr., right? Like kids in wrestling. And then Big Justice hit a spear, all while Shane Taylor was beefing with Wayne Brady. Do you know who Wayne Brady is?
Of course I know who Wayne Brady is. Yeah, whose line is it anyway? Yeah.
Oh, right. Whose line? Yeah, true, respect. But yeah, is Wayne Brady going to have to choke a bitch is what happened. But yeah, very, very interesting that, but I don't care if it's on the pre-show because again, like some people don't even watch that kind of stuff, but it was interesting to see the Rizzler. So put him in the G1, go back to the dojo for some more training. But yeah, that was probably the highlight of the pre-show for me.
Willow Nightingale defeated Lena Cross as well with the backslide and came out of it with a shoulder injury. I think most of us predicted this going in that Willow doing double duty was going to keep the singles gold, but work with an injury through the tag match to drop the titles later. And then we had the AEW National Title 21-man Blackjack Battle Royal, which bled onto the main show. I quite like when they do this, with Jack Perry defeating Ricochet at the end there to win the national championship.
Jack with his Jungle Express, the Lex Express. Pretty cool thing here is many years ago, at a WWE SummerSlam at the Staples Center, they showed Luke Perry with his then kid, who was very young, Jack Perry. And here in the same venue, this guy's winning a title on a show. So I think that's pretty cool for them to do that. So
I feel this championship has already lost its identity. Whether we then hear Jack Perry, I didn't catch the presser or anything from it, but if he's going, I'm going to CMLL next week and then Ring of Honor and blah, blah, blah. But I don't know. I like a battle royal. I quite enjoy a battle royal here and there, way of just getting different characters on the show. And especially on a pre-show, they're kind of fun to watch. You know, everyone's filing into our place to watch the show and you're kind of setting up and you're chatting and paying half attention to it. I don't mind a battle royal for this kind of thing, but I can't stand this championship. I don't think it's needed at all.
Yeah, I kind of don't know what the identity of it is because like the original goal of that other title back in the day with Pac was supposed to be like, hey, we're gonna like make this the indie traveling title, and then it kind of wasn't, and then that's kind of what they said with this one, but it's not. So yeah, more titles, unify it with something else. I don't know.
Unify
with them. I like these battle royals, but I can't necessarily. I was too invested into this one. But
and then we had FTR versus the Bucks kicking off the main show.
Yeah, I mean, I think we were saying that both these teams were going to wrestle maybe with a bit of a chip on their shoulder. Like I feel like we've had many matchups between the two teams, but it's been a while, and we haven't seen them in like the way maybe you kind of want to see them in. And I refer to that as heel FTR and Young Bucks in the, like, you know, colorful tassels and everything. And that's finally kind of what we got here. Now, I know we had it like the first time around, and that was like the tribute to tag team wrestling and all that. But I finally felt like we got a version of this match that I've been waiting for, if that makes sense. So I really got into this. And what's funny is this is the opening match of the pay-per-view, not including that battle royal. And this got so bloody, like so quickly. Like we were like 3 minutes in and there's blood. Like
you've still got a who is the most dangerous man in AEW match to come, and Texas Death. Yeah, but I thought it was warranted with, you know, the family attack from FTR, and then you had you know, the Bucks family at ringside here, being in California. I thought it was warranted. I thought the feud was good, but I felt it was all a bit out of order, if you know what I mean, because you had the FTR laying out the Bucks brother, and then the next week they're playing around in like a comedy, like plunder match with vacuum cleaners and stuff, which all felt a little backwards here. But I thought this was the best iteration of this match they've done. I feel like I think this was number 5, I believe.
Maybe.
And
yeah.
I enjoyed this one. There were times, I think we had a couple of the awkward matches around the whole CM Punk time where I think clearly there was shit going on there where they didn't necessarily want to have anything to do with each other, but they realized, you know, we are the 2 top teams. We should probably do this. Whereas I feel like maybe there's a bit of water under the bridge now, and they had a bit to prove. You know, probably their best match they had before was during the pandemic when not many people saw it. And all the matches have been good, but I feel there's just something that hasn't quite connected in previous iterations. Whereas this, like, so many, I mean, this will go across the show, but so many moments that I thought was the finish that ended up not being the finish. Great near falls, blood, drama, family getting involved. I really enjoyed this.
I think this was the best version. Okay, this is recency bias at the moment, Monday after we're recording right now, but I think this is the best version we've seen from the 2. Like, this was awesome. Like, yes, it got bloody, but it was warranted. You had the kids come out. It was reminiscing of Shane McMahon coming out with all his kids at WrestleMania that one time, where the Bucks just, I was like, damn, how many kids do these guys have? But then it's like, they're just also related and still like family members essentially. But and then the one kid yelling like, get him, get back in there. I really started this pay-per-view off with a fantastic match. Like some of those kickouts and moves, the like Meltzer driver, the finish was like the shatter machine off the top, which was pretty crazy too. But yeah, honestly, I really love this match and set the tone already. I was like, wow, okay, we already had a match of the year candidate kicking off the show, and really enjoyed it. And I mean, it leads to something else, because after the match,
I just wanted to say first, like, this is 4th iteration of the match, and currently on Cage Match, it's the highest rated one, with the original pandemic version being 2nd, the Dynamite match being 3rd, and the All In match being 4th.
Like, all of the matches are good, but this one felt like it was great. Yeah, if that's to put it in terms, I guess. Like, I really enjoyed this one. Like, I'm a big fan of both of these tag teams, and I finally felt like we got the match that we wanted, if that makes sense. And I thought it was awesome. And I mean, the finish, I actually, halfway through the match, I think all of us watching at your place were like, oh man, the Bucks got their kids involved. Like, nah, they got to win this thing. And then they didn't, which is also like another wrinkle into that. But that leads into FTR celebrating, which we then get a return. Revenge with a capital rated R, as the Cope comes back with a friend trailing behind him, the asshole Christian Cage. What do you think of their new shirt? Not Cope and Cage, but Cage and Cope.
Edge, Cope always just has the worst.
That is a brutal shirt.
Like,
that is maybe the worst.
It looks cutesy, like, and maybe if this feels a very WWE show. You know, we have a segment backstage where Cope and Christian are talking, and they're going, all right, so what's our team name? Is it Cope and Cage? And Cage is like, no, it's Cage and Cope. Well,
they have done it.
I got these T-shirts made. Oh, better cross that out. Like it felt really cutesy, and I don't know. Copeland has had the worst shirts in AEW, I think.
Yeah, I don't like, of all the things, like, just get some, like, he's had some cool designs, and people make designs of his stuff and everything. I just, like, of all the things they actually put out as official merch, this is up there as not quite bad as that Britt Baker shirt, maybe, but this is pretty bad. Like, this is pretty lazy. But I'm happy to see these guys back. CNC, Canadian Club, the Blood Brothers, they're back here in AEW, and they take out FTR, they take out Stokely, and then they have a bit of face-to-face with the Young Bucks.
Oh, Stokely took some bumps as well. That tope suicida to him on the chair, like, awesome. As well, like, was pretty cool.
So FTR versus the Canadian Club in Canada, Vancouver, do we think?
I expect we do that match in Vancouver. I think you have Cope and Christian win the titles. I think then you maybe do Cope and Christian versus the Bucks at
Double or Nothing.
And then you can then do what's next? Forbidden Door. Maybe do Cope and Christian against some CMLL or New Japan team. Like it's a holdover pay-per-view. And then I think you do a trios ladder match. I don't think you can call it TLC, but you kind of thing in Wembley, I would say.
What do they call the ones before? They just called it like the ladder match.
I think that just a triangle ladder match, but you'll have the tables and the chairs. And I think FTR, Cope and Christian, Young Bucks at Wembley. I imagine this being Cope and Christian's last run. So I can't see either of them necessarily even going into 2027. So I think you want to do that match, and I think Wembley makes the most sense to do it.
That is a huge match. Like TLC, triangle ladder match, whatever you want to call it, Full Metal Mayhem, whatever you want to call it. Like these three teams running the tag division right now, flip-flopping the titles around. Love it. Like, definitely looking forward to seeing that down the line and seeing these guys back. I'd much prefer having Edge and Christian, Cope and Christian being a tag team rather than, like, you know, a year earlier, a year ago, he was in the main event, and both of them actually were in the main event, and it kind of sucked. So, like, I like that we're doing this, and also it feels like in this iteration, Edge is almost the, like, tag team. Like, this is AEW's Christian territory, and Edge, you're now his, like, you're not necessarily the running the shots here because Christian's been here before you, and basically he's the bigger tag team partner, if you will, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm looking forward to, like, a TLC match between these three teams. Like, would be great. Christian and Edge versus FTR, like a rematch from what we saw here live in Toronto. That would be awesome again. And then the Bucks versus them as well. Like, some dream matches plus a really cool way to get to All In, I think, is definitely the direction that we're going. So looking forward to that. But yeah, this show kicked off with a super kick party that I really enjoyed. So that put a good start. But then we went to our next match, Toni Storm taking on Marina Shafir in a normal match, but everyone banned from ringside.
It's officially an everyone banned from ringside match. Yes.
Even the crowd were banned from ringside here. I didn't see this movie called The Bride, but if I had a nickel for every time someone told me this week that it's basically just a movie length Toni Storm promo, I'd have quite a few nickels because I keep hearing, including literally yesterday from our friend Jesse, who's like, hey, did you guys see this movie? It's literally, I'm like, you're going to say it, aren't you? And he's like, it's like Toni Storm promo. I'm like, yeah. Everyone's, maybe there's some inspiration there, but even her makeup is very Bride-esque here with this movie. But this match had it all. Feet, biting
tit
tits
biting,
off. Tit biting.
I think this is the best Marina's looked in a singles match. I think they've done a real good, like, the Paul Heyman approach to Marina Shafir, where they've kept her very limited in wrestling matches. She's had very few singles matches. She's often been in, the tags or the Anarchy in the Arena style matches, and actual one-on-one singles matches have been very limited. And it's kept her as this, like her character development as this, head of security, enforcer of the Death Riders, like the modern day China, has been pretty effective. But here I thought she looked good here. She was just like kicking the shit out of Toni for most of this match. And I'm glad she got rid of some of the moves that were maybe a bit ambitious and didn't look great. Like she's been doing that 619 head scissors trap, which I just don't think looked great. But here, using more of her MMA, more of her striking and stuff, and Toni selling really well and getting which we've seen a few times, like that little small package win out of nowhere. I thought was pretty effective for this.
I thought she looked good too. Yeah, like think of when we watched Marina, was it NXT? Like night and day from what she used to look like. And I think this whole Death Riders thing has created this whole character with this just badass chick who kicks the shit out of people and doesn't wear shoes in her matches. So yeah, I got into it too. And then, I mean, then we have the debut afterwards. Ronda Rousey shows up in an AEW ring and she gets booed by California.
Which I think is fine, because it looks like she's going to be the heel here. And I haven't looked online. I can imagine what the reaction to this is, and I imagine it's overwhelmingly negative. But I think this is a good move, and I wasn't even a fan of Ronda's wrestling particularly, especially that last run. There was something off, but I felt in this venue, it looked good. As I said, we mentioned it sold out, lots of crowd shots and things. And Ronda being a big name, Ronda is a name in pop culture again due to this Gina Carano fight coming up. Mm-hmm. I think you're going to get some eyes out of curiosity. I always say it's a bit of a Trojan horse. You might get people who are intrigued, Ronda fans or whatever, and want to see what this is all about, and come away from it being, wow, Toni Storm's pretty funny. She's pretty cool. Oh, they do some that Mike Bailey and Jet Speed do some fun stuff. You might get that. And so I'm kind of positive about this. And I think Ronda, maybe her comments recently about a
lot of things.
Well, yeah, like don't get me wrong. Like Ronda said some fucking dumb shit in the past, and
a lot of
there's other people who've said dumb shit who had their contract like terminated the first day they're in this company. Mm-hmm. Trey Miguel and others, but Ronda's a bigger name, so I guess WWD don't really care. But the stuff she's been saying recently about, pay and, like affordability for fans and that kind of thing. AEW is that company, and maybe she wants to stick it to TKO in two different ways. And I think coming here and clearly being positioned as a heel, which always seemed like something she was reluctant of doing in WWE, kind of WWE fans forced her to be a heel, and she's always had that kind of issue with public perception and things. And I think that it was written on her face all the time that she didn't want to be there. Whereas here, maybe coming in, embracing that you're going to be a heel against our top babyface in the women's division is probably a better fit. I don't know. Personally, I think it was a pretty good move.
Yeah, like I'm not necessarily a big fan of her when it came to wrestling. I remember watching her fights in UFC. I was super into that. And like, she is a household name, like people know her who aren't watching, fighting or wrestling for that matter. Like she's been around for so long that she's, a Jeopardy question, or like she's people know who she is, even if they don't know what this is. So like, this is a good move because you are bringing some people in. For every 100 people that this brings some attention to AEW, maybe 90 of them will be like, what is this fake shit? What is this? Or there'll be the 10 who go, oh, wait a second. I like this. This is pretty cool. So yeah, I don't agree with a lot of the stuff she has said in the past, and she definitely continues to put her foot in her mouth. But at the same time, this brings some attention to AEW. I'm not exactly sure we're going to see her wrestling or on TV at all in the next little while. But judging on how that fight goes, I mean, I think everyone's kind of assuming she's going to kill Gina Carano, but you don't know. You never know. But depending on how that goes, maybe she wrestles Toni Storm at All In Wembley.
I think All In's the move. I think tickets go on sale this week for All In
right now. And aren't they on sale right now?
On sale now. I think getting Ospreay on this show, getting Ronda on this show. Ronda is someone who, tickets are relatively affordable in the UK for Wembley, and or I mean, at least they have been the last few times. I haven't looked at the ticket prices this time round, but you've got a lot of time to promote this. You want to sell as many tickets as you can for that. You put Ronda Rousey's face on all these posters. The wrestling fans are going anyway. But we met, I bumped into some friends at All In who I didn't know watched AEW or whatever. And they're like, oh, we just thought it'd be fun. We saw tickets and we thought we'll go to this wrestling show and we had a great time. You might get some people who recognize Ronda Rousey. I don't know if she fought in London or whatever. I haven't looked. I can't remember if she had one of her fights. So could be a big deal. Ronda Rousey in Wembley Stadium. You could do like a tag match leading up to it, maybe a double or nothing, have Marina and Ronda versus Toni and Mina or something like that to build it up and shake off some cobwebs. But I think it's great for Toni as well, as it's sometimes good to have your top stars have a little break from the world title, but you need to find things to keep them busy. Exactly. And I think this is a great way of keeping Toni busy without needing her to be in the title picture.
Yeah, I feel so different ways, but I'm on the same page as you, because it's like we're not necessarily. This is not going to make us be like, oh my god, we have to go see Ronda Rousey. But this is definitely like the like what WrestleMania does of like, hey, look, we got Floyd Money Mayweather in a match here, and like this is flexing a little outside of their world a little bit. It's like when they use the Rizzler and shit. It's like, hey, look, like. Hey, we're also like WWE. And the reason, like, okay, again, not necessarily like, whoa, I can't believe this is happening. But I think this is good for AEW because it will bring some attention and some eyes to this, especially with Ronda being in the talks again with this fight that is on Netflix. And that is just so interesting to me. Okay, so WWE has the Netflix attachment there with Monday Night Raw. But for us Canadians, that's the only way we watch WWE is Netflix, everything, pay-per-views, NXT, everything. So this fight is on Netflix, but now they're definitely going to be promoting it on Dynamite or AEW product. Like, so it's just interesting because I don't necessarily agree with a lot of things she says, but when I heard her talking about tickets and TKO,
she has made apologies.
Yeah.
I mean, long overdue, but she has made apologies for a lot of those comments as well, like the Sandy Hook stuff, etc.
But then, like, recently I've seen her talking about the pay, and you mentioned like fighters and stuff. And then I can't say I'm a UFC guy anymore, especially I noticed that it's really popular and people are watching it and there's fights every fucking weekend and this and that. But then when I hear someone like a Ronda be like, yo, what's with fighters, this and that, and like women and talking about that. And then I see the clip circulating from a UFC star, Strickland, straight up saying women should be in the kitchen and saying these awful things. That does not make me want to watch UFC in the near future at all. And I will not be. In fact, I go out of my way to watch it now to make sure people, oh, we're going to put the fights on. Cool. I'll meet you I don't want to watch it. I have no interest. 0 stars, including that guy. So like, maybe now I'm like with this, I'm like, wow, maybe Ronda's turning a corner here. So we'll see how it plays out. Cause I'm kind of like, okay, this is good.
Netflix, like being on board with this as well. I mean, WWE has their stuff on so many things, in the States, especially like Tubi, which is Fox, right? ESPN, you've got Netflix, obviously. I wonder if there's part like Netflix being like, well, you didn't want our pay-per-views to be on here, so we'll do this. Or like, well, you're able to, hey, you've got multiple girlfriends. Yeah, I'm gonna sleep with other guys. You know, that kind of thing.
I'm kind of for it, and this kind of shakes things. Like, I would imagine WWE are like, hey, that's whatever, but also like, it's kind of a power move from AEW.
I have some not expect as well. Like it obviously already logically ties in with Marina. So it's not like I was shocked. I didn't hear any rumblings of this. I didn't expect this happening, but there's an automatic tie-in because she's so heavily linked with Marina. And I don't think, sometimes there's the worry, I think, especially with AEW, whose appetite is really good wrestling. I don't necessarily think this is going to take away from other people either. No. I mean, look at this show. Pretty much anyone you can think of over the course of the main body of the show and the pre-show were on this show. Like, it hasn't necessarily taken a spot from anyone, and it should hopefully draw some eyes as well. And when you want more people watching this as well.
Absolutely. I feel the same way still with WWE. Like, as long as you're getting people to watch and new fans and anything, like, I feel that way just about wrestling in general, because there's always that stigma of like, oh, it's wrestling. But
I don't want to see Jelly Roll versus Cody Rhodes for the undisputed title at WrestleMania. Maybe I do, but Jelly Roll versus Kit Wilson or whatever for 6 minutes on the show, fine, absolutely.
Yeah, the Costco guys on the pre-show, excellent. If they were on the pay-per-view, maybe we have some discussions. But it's the fucking pre-show, so like, as long as you're bringing some attention, and I think the Ronda stuff, sure, there's going to be some bad. There's going to be some good too. And I think the way I'm looking at it is a business decision. I think it was the right move because you already now have people talking about it that might not have been talking about it from before. But yeah, we'll see.
I enjoyed smacking Moxley on the way to the ring.
I was about to say that was
telling it like, fuck. Ouch.
That was pretty funny. So Marina obviously always smacks him before the matches, right? So she's walking out with Ronda and she smacks Mox and he's selling it. Maybe, I mean, he goes on to win, but like, that's a match down the line. Moxley versus Ronda Rousey. I was shocked, and I think it could, bring some more eyes to AEW. And I would book Toni Storm versus Ronda for Wembley 100%. And Toni goes over, which probably won't happen. But yeah, book it. But then that led us to our no time limit. Hold on. Don't tell me what title is this for. The AEW Continental Championship, right? Is that right? Yes.
Yep.
No time limits.
The time limit championship being defended with no time limits on this show. And
it went 23 minutes.
Hey, that's
so those 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Those 3 minutes, man, they do a whole lot here. But was really looking forward to this matchup. I mean, the last time these two fought was at the Cruiserweight, no, not the Cruiserweight Classic, the Continental Classic, where I thought they knocked it out the park. And then they did that and some here. I mean, these guys were absolutely.
They did the Grand Slam match.
Grand Slam match. Right. That's right. And that's where it was the time limit. And then that's why we got to this one. At one point, they were going like all Japan style with like the backdrop suplexes and getting back up and the suplexes, exploders. Takeshita just going crazy. And then when it got to the 20-minute mark is where like now they're hitting like burning lariats and their finishers. There was kickouts of the Raging Fire, the paradigm shift. And then just like the Shatter Machine off the top, Moxley had to use the Death Rider off the top rope to finally. I think he's still kicked out.
For me, that was maybe the one kick out too much. Right. There were some awesome kickouts in this match. Like it was eventually Moxley
putting him to sleep,
choke and putting Takeshita to sleep. But yeah, there were some awesome kickouts, and I think most of them really earned. I think there's a lot of there's such a fine line with the spamming of finishers and kickouts, and I think you see it a lot on indie shows, and why not? Like indie shows just do whatever. You don't need to think too much about psychology. I don't think at an indie show you're there to just have a good time and have some fun. I think when it comes to like the elite level like this, you need to have that little extra care. And man, the raging fire into the Mox kick out, which I think the first time someone's kicked out of it, Takeshita took that extra second. Like, and it wasn't like Triple H Booker T just lying down forever and then gradually crawling over. It was just, you know, he landed it. The way Takeshita fell, he was kind of the wrong side of the body. So just drags himself over and gives Moxley that extra second to kick out. And man, Mox maybe kick out of the year with this one, because it was millimeters away from the mat, the ref's hand for that kick out. I thought was incredible. And then you had that Avalanche Death Rider, which that was the one I was like,
it's over.
Like, I still popped on the kick out, don't get me wrong, and I loved it. But that was the one I was maybe like, that was maybe one too many. But yeah, this was awesome. I think they bettered what they did at Grand Slam. And Moxley's such a weird one. I ended up making him, I picked him for Wrestler of the Year last year. But I think there's been a bit of a run with this feud where I've been a little tired of every Dynamite starting with that wah, wah, Death Riders music. And, oh, here comes Jon Moxley to face a member of the of Don Callis family. And I feel a lot of the matches, I always start a little bit like ho-hum. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, Moxley is good. And I get into it by the end. And this one, I thought was incredible. And I was surprised. I picked Takeshita on our pick'ems for this one.
Yeah. So he puts him to sleep. Takeshita not doing the John Cena smile, though. He just passes out and it's over. So I was definitely thinking that Takeshita would take this from Moxley. So maybe this is a step in the direction of Don Callis family kicking him out. Like, oh, you know what? You're a loser now. So
you had the respect angle at the end, and I think that will piss off the Don Callis family as well. So yeah.
Like, he needs to be pure babyface anyways, right? Like, he kind of already is. Both babyfaces in heel groups, but Moxley was definitely trying to be more heel in this one, like flipping off the crowd and stuff. But still, people are like, yo, you're awesome. So, like, yeah, it's kind of the same way with Takeshita, where he turned heel a few years ago, and then people just realized, oh, wait, you're actually really good. So they just like him now. So I'm interested to see where we go with Takeshita. I know you're all in. End game is Okada, Fletcher, Takeshita. I'm still okay with that, but before that, I think we need Takeshita, Fletcher one-on-one, and another Okada, Takeshita.
It almost feels like Fletcher's starting to break out as a bit of a baby face as well,
because he's just so good. People are like,
well, I mean, he's incredible. Like, but it has also been having those slight, comments backstage, with Don Callis, like, oh, we're not working with him, are we? About MJF, and, the slight reluctancy at first of being the tag team with Okada, and the mix-up at the World's End pay-per-view with his screwdriver being taken. There've been little indications that he's someone that could break out as a babyface at some point as well. So I think we're going to see iterations of all three of those combos.
Like, we need like all the versions of these three guys facing each other. And then if you're saying like a three-way would be pretty good too, but just, yeah, I need this Takeshita. I need him to go, but I need him to like get a push here, but he lost. And then I'm like, imagine they kick him out or something. So I'm sure we'll get to that. And then his gimmick will be back to loving Cinnabon again, because he's a baby face. As a heel, you're not allowed to like Cinnabon, or at least tell people that you do.
Oh no.
I don't know that. Maybe you are, but he's dropped it ever since turning heel. So we need to, he hasn't worn the gear ever since either. So, but after that match, another superstar appears. Well, first we get a video. It's Will Ospreay in the chamber, like Goku, returning.
Yeah, it was kind of like that, or like I had images of Bane as well, like
Batman and Robin Bane.
Yeah,
I'm like, it's Goku.
It was the green, like green, and these tubes going into him, filling him with questionable liquids.
Yeah, what was in those things? Those IVs. Well, he's British, so it's probably like baked beans or something going into his veins. I love this video. It was pretty cool. And some of these videos that have gone viral today, I've seen on like Insta and Twitter, is especially this one where someone's recording in the arena and the video ends and the person filming is with a group of friends and the friend goes, "Oh, he's not here, is he?" And then the music hits and then he's like, "Ah!" And like huge pop from this crowd. They were losing it. They did not expect him to show up, especially when you see like the video play, right? Like that kind of, it got boos because people were like, "Oh, we wanted to see him." And then they tricked you and then played the theme. And then he came out to a huge reaction, especially when the song, the Ospreay chants thing, like dude is superstar.
It's moments like this that just make the company feel so much bigger. When you're hearing that level of noise, everyone chanting the Ospreay. It was cool. And that incredible hidden blade to the face to both Mox and Garcia here.
Yeah, has anyone like right away? We're like, but like he's coming back pretty quick after what seems like a serious injury. If your neck is like involved,
6
right?
months he was off.
And it's like, will he be the same? Dude's in the ring for like 0.1 seconds and he's throwing bows like nothing. He's like, whoa, walloping, hits a twisted sky press to the outside, nearly kills himself and gets up and like nothing. So yeah, I guess it's safe to say the bruv is back and the crowd were definitely for it, as am I. Very excited.
I wonder if some of the I'm pleased. So he comes back to take out Mox. Obviously Mox was the one who Mox and the Death Riders wrote him off TV at Forbidden Door last year. And so it's always a difficulty when you do those kind of angles. And since that angle took place, Moxley essentially turned babyface, as well as some of the Death Riders to an extent. So it's always difficult because then you've got to tie up that loose end or just ignore it and be like, why is Ospreay okay with Mox walking around, So I think that's possibly an explanation why we've had Mox in this kind of tweener role, why we maybe haven't pulled the trigger on Death Riders booting him out.
Sure.
I could imagine Ospreay maybe not even caring about this title. Maybe it's some kind of, but I mean, at least with this title, you can justify it, right? Because the title is like no rule breaking, no interference, no one at ringside, time limits. Ospreay's like, I don't want any of that because I want to kill you. You took 6 months from my career, and you could have some sort of more violent match at Revolution, and then maybe we can solidify the Moxley babyface turn after that. I don't see it necessarily being a long feud.
No.
I feel this is more, let's just tie up this loose end, get Ospreay back. We can then do, we'll start the Owen and
he's winning.
Give him someone else to do at Double or Nothing and Forbidden Door. But it's Wembley. It's him for the title, 100%.
Yeah, like you would imagine he is in the main event of Wembley going for the title, whether it's MJF, whether it's Kenny Omega, like Ospreay in the main event. But for now, there's still months before that. So I could see him. I think it's safe to say Dynasty is Moxley versus Ospreay for this Continental Championship. And maybe he takes it and then he has a little run with it and then loses it and then enters the Owen and wins it. So like that could easily keep him tied up and have, multiple different little TV feuds in between these pay-per-views. I don't know what the Double or Nothing will be. But wait, isn't Double or Nothing the main event of it? How did they do it last year? The main event
normally
of
Anarchy in the Arena is Double or Nothing.
But this last year it was Ospreay and Hanger, but All In was much closer. So that's why
All In was a lot closer, yeah. So I wonder think you're doing the you might have first round Owen, maybe something like that. At Double or Nothing, but we've still got 3 pay-per-views before All In, I think.
But I wonder.
Well, has Forbidden Door been announced yet?
It hasn't. And what the hell is Forbidden Door even going to be? All these people are now in this company.
I mean, that was the same case last year, right? It was
last year.
Yeah. they'll do more CMLL and stuff.
I wonder if you
Forbidden Door's not been announced, so that could be maybe September or something like that.
True, they could move it to a different time. That would make a lot more sense, to be honest. Like, that would be better.
But
or maybe skip it this year.
It's a May 24th is Double or Nothing, and August 30th is All In. There's a big gap.
Yeah. Would you announce the match that early? They don't usually do that. Like, okay, a New Japan, the G1
especially with a tournament. I don't think so.
Yeah, I feel like you might push that back. So they definitely got some plans. But regardless of where that lands, I do see Ospreay winning. Therefore, he is the challenger for Wembley going into it. That makes the most sense easily. But for Dynasty, I would say it's Mox. For the Continental Classic, you could run back the Pac Ospreay match at some point if they haven't announced that already for Wednesday. I'm sure they will announce some stuff. But yeah, Ospreay can keep distracted for a little bit and then eventually lock in and go for that world title picture, which, MJF Ospreay we've seen, but could definitely do it again. But Kenny Ospreay definitely seems like ooh, that sounds like we had it in Japan where they both arguably made a name for themselves. We had the second one, the sequel on Canadian soil. It's only fair that we do it one more time on the UK soil. So
and it's only fair we just don't give the Americans it as well, right?
Yeah, fuck them. Yeah, exactly. So I kind of want that match, but MJF has been killing it lately, so I wouldn't necessarily be against like Ospreay being the big good guy, babyface, going after the big baddie of AEW, which is MJF. So I don't know. I'm kind of torn between both of those matches. Sound really good to me, to be honest. But I'm happy to see Ospreay back, and I love the crowd going nuts for him. But also low key love the Goku Chamber reference. So.
I think you can go both ways because MJF build him up as this big heel. It was effective last year with Mox and MJF going on this run and Ospreay being the big baby face in the UK, overcoming the odds and becoming champions, sure. But you did that match in Wembley. And I think part of the audience would want to see something fresh as well. Yeah. And I think Kenny Ospreay, possibly for the last time as well.
Absolutely London, the last.
I think feels a bigger match.
For me, okay, we are kind of making plans to travel over to go for All In. But if you were to announce that match with maybe a few months, that would probably gain some ticket sales, to be honest. If you were to tell me right now, hey, in the end of August, it's Kenny versus Ospreay. If you are a fan and you have watched their past matches, you're going to probably want to go to that match and travel for it, right? So, hey, announce it as far back as you can. Remember that Forbidden Door here, as pretty much as soon as they announced that show in Toronto, they were like, oh, by the way, Kenny versus Will and Okada Danielson. And we were all smitten with that. So maybe you do announce with some time. I found it weird. Tickets went on sale today, March 16th. That show is August 30th. There are shows for concerts next year that have been on sale months before this. So I do find it weird that they waited this long to put them on sale, but I don't know if that will hinder them at all. But
yeah, I don't know how much time you need to sell it. Do you know what I mean? I think they wanted to wait for confirmation that Ospreay's on there to really help with those first sales, maybe.
Sure. Yeah.
But I don't know. Do you need 9 months to buy a ticket? It's still 5 months away.
It's still far away. It's just in the world of tickets and stuff. Usually, there's already tickets for summer 2026 for a lot of stuff, sports and concerts. That's I'm just comparing to other stuff. I'm like, oh, it's kind of weird that they have announced some upcoming Dynamites in May that are just being announced now. So that's only 2 months really of notice essentially. So I don't know, just something I noticed essentially. Yeah. But I love seeing Will here. That definitely solidifies he's gunning it for Wembley, and that's a big deal for these people and for the fans. Really excited to see some of the matches, and I hope he's okay. And after those hidden blades, I think he's going to be okay. He's going to be all right. We went to the AEW's most dangerous man match. Swerve Strickland.
We had the women's tag next.
The women's tag. How could I forget? Yes. We had a title change here. Big Willow Nightingale couldn't get it done with the two title defenses in one night. 2 big title matches, and man, you knew it was coming. She barely got by this Lena Cross, but couldn't do it in this match. I feel for Penelope Ford here. Like, clearly this was supposed to be her.
Like, and I think she's been. I think she kind of found something with Megan Bayne, and day one as well. It's a shame.
I will be honest. This was a bit of my cool down match, considering the 2 openers really was like had all of my attention, and I still got into this, but it didn't get to maybe like another level that maybe I was hoping for. But I will say that Lena Cross, like, first impressions, she's pretty great. She's pretty awesome. I saw her do that jackhammer on Minas, completely steamrolling her the other week. And I was like, okay, all right. WWE hit gold with a giant, evil Australian lady. And maybe AEW is like, hey, we got one too. So go with it. And they have here by giving Megan Bayne and this newcomer Cross some gold tag titles.
I feel it was designed to be a bit of a come down match. You'd already seen Willow on the show. We've already seen kind of variations of this match, and I think story-wise, it made sense to be short with Willow coming in injured, and I had no problem. It served its purpose. Like, I don't think it was really designed to blow you away.
No, it went 5
minutes. Right move. It's a story match, kind of. We're now continuing where Willow was overzealous, lost the title. These 2 should be champion. I wonder how Harley's going to react to it all. But I was okay with this where it was.
I'm happy for Megan Bayne. She's definitely someone who's come into AEW and become a bit of a, like, used her time and become something pretty quickly. So I like the fact that it totally would have been Penelope in this position. But so again, I do really feel for her with this injury again.
I think they were meant to win on that Dynamite.
Yeah.
Like, I think the title was meant to switch then.
Yeah. But I mean, this Lena coming in here, like, that's a big move for someone right away to get some gold. So I like this decision, and I think this gives more time. As much as I think Harley has really stepped up, but it gives more focus on Willow as the TBS champion. So I'm interested to go to that.
What do you think would be the next challenger for Willow?
Well, you could do Megan Bayne or Lena Cross, considering they pinned her right here, but also they just did it. But I mean, I hate when they do the title champions fighting for other things and stuff. But in this case, she did have both titles, but still, maybe not. But why? Who do you want to see her mix it up?
I don't know. I don't know. I wonder. I've seen suggested out there that which doesn't particularly interest me, but maybe Harley turning on Willow to join the Iconics.
Iconics.
I believe Harley recorded their theme, and
she did,
and
many years ago.
So maybe that's something that I don't think is obviously going to be any sort of main event act, but it's something you could do. I'm with you though. I don't necessarily want to see Megan or Lena challenging for the TBS title. I'd rather see Willow go on to a bit more of a personal singles feud. I don't know what the options are. Mercedes seems to be dropping all her titles.
Yeah.
Again, whether she comes back to face Willow again, I'd rather see when Mercedes comes back, she's focusing on the world title. I'm not sure. Jamie Hayter and Alex Windsor they'll be focused on the tag titles, I think, to build to All In.
Yeah.
So who are the candidates of like top women who could challenge Willow right now?
I mean, you got like a bunch of the CMLL. I know we did that match on Dynamite, right? Yeah. So like you could do stuff like that. They got a lot of people. I think you could find a lot of TV matches and stuff for. So, and she's great. Like Willow is great. So I feel like we can get some good, fun, open challenges or something. But then we went to AEW's Most Dangerous Man. Who is the most dangerous man in AEW? Swerve Strickland taking on Brody King. And we got LA chanting "fuck ice" in the crypto arena here. Thought that was cool. We had both these guys trying to do dangerous things to each other, including the removal of the padding on the outside. We had like guardrails being used, some violent things being used in this match. But when you take away that padding, like in some of these venues, it reveals like not necessarily cement, but that like where the ice is underneath for like the hockey.
Yeah.
And like when they was it a vertebreaker onto it and like backdrops onto it? Like it looked so painful. You just hear, was there like a boss man slam? And you just hear like this smacking thud. And like that stuff does not give.
It was like, Swerve's leg landed on something which made this crack noise, but it just sounded like he'd broken one of his bones.
Yeah. We were like in shock and awe of like, oh, that was really loud, like this pounding, slapping noise. But yeah, there was some really cool stuff. There was like a apron bomb where Swerve deadlifts Brody on the apron and power bombs him. And like that's gotta hurt him more than it hurt Brody, because like deadlifting this big dude, I was very impressed. Like Swerve is beefed up since coming back, and this heel roll I'm really liking, but that was very impressive. And then yeah, that vertebreaker as well. But the gimmick of this match was Brody was just not staying down, and it took everything of Swerve to prove like you have to show me how dangerous you are to beat me. And then he ultimately did. But I got into it as well. I'm really liking the use of Brody as a singles star. It's crazy how much he's been used and how much of him wrestling in 2026 that I'm really enjoying. And I cannot say the same for one of his former tag team partners, leaders of a stable on another show. But been loving Brody in this run. But this is all to set up a bigger match for Vancouver, I would imagine. But I still got into it and really liked the vertebreaker.
I thought they did a good job here they're in a difficult position where this match has been promoted as who is the most dangerous man in AEW, and it's a regular singles match, and we have a Texas death match on the show. And I thought they did a really good way with showcasing the violence while staying in the restrictions of a regular match and being very different from the main. Sometimes you're given, there was that like no DQ match. Do you remember we talked about it on 205 Live where apparently was it Mustafa Ali and Buddy Murphy, and they're told you can't use anything, you can use the steel steps, and that's it. And it's this whole match based around the steel steps, and kind of the restrictions ended up forcing them to come up with some more creative stuff and became a bit of a highlight of that show. And I got the same sense here where these guys being a little handcuffed with what they can do in this match made them think a little bit outside the box and came up with some really cool stuff. And that felt really violent, but completely different from your main event. So I like this. Wasn't my favorite match on the show, but I think it served its purpose. I think it makes Swerve seem like such a threat, and he's going to be on the hunt for that world title. I'd like to see Brody win something big soon. But I don't think this was. I think this was the right decision, having Swerve go over.
I'd go Brody like TNT title down the line or something like that, and have like open challenges. Same thing, like I was saying, TBS. Like as long as he's wrestling and people keep seeing him, and he'll eventually get to the next level, as we've already seen him get like more popular and more screen time essentially. But this was ultimately to set up for the return of the cleaner, who shows up again, huge.
We had another return.
This is a crazy show. Kenny Omega, who probably getting off his flight from Japan, he just could not miss this Street Fighter, whatever convention going on in Japan. I mean, I know he's done the mocap and all that stuff for it, so it looked pretty cool. But the story's coming out that he couldn't do this match because of that. But then he shows up here to save Brody for an after match beatdown, which again, the crowd were like really shocked and stunned to see him here in the flesh. So easily the match for Dynasty, Kenny Omega versus Swerve Strickland. And I mean, in Canada, in Vancouver, close enough to Winnipeg. I mean, this is a big one. This could be easily like one of the biggest matches. I mean, the show is selling already really well for Dynasty, but this is a hot one. I would imagine quasi number one contender match. Also, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, we've got. I think I'd be pretty safe in saying we've got Cope and Christian versus FTR. You have
Kenny, Swerve.
Osprey versus Mox, and Kenny versus Swerve, which already those three matches sound pretty good. Pretty good to me.
Absolutely. Swerve beat him and then injured him, right? So I think Kenny getting his win back and then calling his shot for Max possibly at Double or Nothing is the move to go. So yeah, love seeing him back here, and that match is going to be crazy. Definitely looking forward to the rematch of Swerve and Kenny. We then went to our Women's World Championship match, a 2 out of 3 falls match. The champion Tekla defending against the former champ Chris Statlander. The Alien versus the Spider here in Revolution. This was pretty funny watching with some of our friends last night because some of them didn't realize this was a 2 out of 3 falls.
Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah.
3 times.
On both balls. They're like, oh, wow.
Match is over.
And remember, then, we've already seen someone be pinned once. Oh, yeah.
This was pretty good too, though. You know, I like this more than their last time. They and I liked the last time when Tekla won the belt from Statlander, but you know, I really got into this. Tekla gets the first fall by cheating, getting that out of the way, and then I mean, she's the toxic spider, so she is the only one who, rightfully so, can hit the spider suplex, which underrated move. We always talk about Danielson whenever he does it, but underrated move is the spider suplex because she hits it great. There's also the Saturday Night Delight where Statlander finally got her fall, so made it 1-1.
The Sunday Night Fever.
Oh, right. Sorry. What is she called? She's the Saturday Night Delight? Is that what she calls herself?
She's the Saturday Night Delight. If it's on a Saturday, it's a Saturday night.
That's a little confusing.
Wednesday, it's a Wednesday night. No, it's just look at the day of the week, right?
So wait, so she calls the move depending on the day it is, or is she called the Saturday?
She's been doing this for about 5 years in AEW.
Really? I know that I've heard the name, but I didn't realize that the same move is called different things. That's just silly.
It depends on the day of the week.
Oh, okay. Well, she got the fall here, so it must hurt more.
Imagine if TGI Fridays did that. Just change the restaurant name.
TGIS, TGIW.
Ruby Thursdays, and
TGIF, maybe they would be in business still if they did that, because I don't know if they're doing too well. We don't have one here, though. It came down to both of these women killing each other with some crazy big moves. Fucking Rick Knox goes down at one point. The evil goth chick.
No, it was Paul Turner.
Oh, it was Paul Turner.
Tekla went reaching around his pants.
That's right. Yes. Grabs it for what?
For the belt.
For his belt. Whips Statlander with it. She gets whipped by it. There was some welts on their back from this stuff here. But the match ends with Tekla hitting I'm calling it the spider stomp, which I'm assuming is what it's called, because as I watched her do it, I was like, oh, that's a pretty cool move. Like, you know, and our friend Rob is like, yeah, it's like stomping on a spider. That's why she does it. I'm like, is that why she does it? I mean, she does it really well.
Yeah, she's used it in promos a couple of times.
Yeah,
I think being like,
love it,
stomp you out.
I really like this match. Like, these two went out there and had 2 out of 3 falls can work really well in its favor, and I think that it did here, and it changed the pace of like not just, you know, one fall like all the other matches. But I really have been loving Tekla. Like, she is a complete package. She's got the evil promos since being a champion, the confidence and the look and the wrestling. So really been loving Tekla. In fact, I think Tekla should hold on to this all the way till Wembley. In fact, maybe it's Mercedes Tekla is the women's match for Wembley. But yeah, I mean, Statlander too, it's just she was champion and then it was something was missing, and I still am not sure what it is. Like, should she try a heel turn again? I don't know, but I really like this match. Like, no, the wrestling was really good, but Tekla is the one after the match, and I'm like, damn, like really impressed by this champion.
Yeah, they were in a difficult spot, I think, being later in the show and 2 out of 3 falls and a match we've seen twice already. I loved this. I thought it was great. I think Tekla has been such a welcome addition to AEW. I think she's a great wrestler, but her character work is so good. She just has this wildness about her, and I love that that's kind of carried over. You know, the story of her attacking the president of Stardom, and that's why she got fired from there. And after the match here, even when she does her pin, like her pins look mean. You know, she hooks the leg, her like hand is just pressed in the face of them, pushing them down.
She spit at her after the match.
Yeah, she's spitting at her. The Sisters of Sin are even like, okay, you've won. All right, calm down. Like
she's being held back. She's yelling, I don't ever want to see her again.
Yeah, I think her whole presentation's fantastic. And like really, like she just leaps off the screen completely. And I kind of like the idea maybe of doing her and Mercedes at Wembley and maybe try Mercedes being a baby face.
Absolutely.
Like she's traveling the world, losing all these titles right now. And I think it's a great way to bring her back, and Tekla like kind of, you know, kicking her when she's down. It's like you've lost everything. Who are you? You're nothing. I'm the champion, and kind of really be nasty to Mercedes to try and get some sympathy. But that feels a big match to me if you're doing Ronda and Toni, and maybe a big Willow, maybe Willow Statlander again, something like that. I don't know. Big match there, but Tekla needs to hold this title to All In. I think she's been fantastic. And Chris is great here too. Like Chris's wrestling is fantastic. It's just her character, and I think you see it even more clearly being against someone like Tekla, who completely knows who she is as a performer. I think that's still missing from Stat.
You say like Tekla, it feels like she's such a scene stealer. Like as soon as you see her, you're like, oh, what is this? Vibrant gear, the hair, the piercings, the way she acts. Like definitely, as soon as she's come into AEW, has like commanded the role she's in. Like she, you know, dressed for the job you want essentially. And she's a great champion thus far. Great signing.
I think the women's division has come along a long way. I still think it's maybe lacking a little bit of depth, like interesting depth. And I am absolutely not saying I want to see Tekla jump ship. I like her here, and I want them continuing that depth in AEW. But she's probably the only person on the roster right now that I'm watching and going, man, I'd like to see you in there with Io. I'd like to see you in there with Rhea. Like just from variety point of view, I think the women's division's a little bit more difficult to book because, look, we just said, who's Willow's next opponent? And we don't know. And we want her to have a big match at All In. And you're going, okay, that means we need 3 cycles of opponents before we get there. And the options are still limited, as good as that women's division has been progressing.
It has, totally. I mean, they have made some stars. I mean, this Tekla being one of them. Again, not even being here for that long and already their champion and already a standout in this division. But Statlander's come a long way. Willow's come a long way. Harley, like we said, like a lot of them have been built up, but still we need even more. Essentially, you have 3 titles for women in this company. So many titles. But yeah, love this 2 out of 3 falls match. Tekla, who's the dynasty match? What are we seeing in Vancouver? Tekla versus who else is there?
Like it's
there's like, oh, who do we?
I doubt you're doing Toni. I think Tony's going to be busy with other stuff.
You could do a Toni match,
and you've done the Toni match already, haven't you?
Right.
Oh, have you? Maybe not. Maybe not. You could do that. You could have Toni lose, I guess. There's that.
You could have Ronda screw her, but that would mean Ronda has to show up.
We've done the Jamie Hayter feud already. Whether they want to heat up Alex Windsor, perhaps.
True.
That's what I mean. There aren't loads of options.
Yeah, I can't even think of what would be the Tekla dynasty match or double or nothing match.
Unless it's that time of year where we dust off a Hikaru Shida, a Riho, a Taya Valkyrie, a Deonna Purrazzo, you know, all your people in that weird purgatory.
Britt Baker.
Yeah. There's a lot on the shelf. You could go, I've still got that in my closet.
I'm not saying I need to see Britt Baker, but still, like, I think she's been pretty vocal, like, hey, it's not up to me. I'm just not being used.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We went from that match to our next match, the Trios Championship. The newly won Don Callis family, the Okada Open, is what I'm calling them. Fletcher, Davis, and Okada versus Jet Speed and Mistico. What would there be? Just Jet Speed and Mistico? I know we had Jets. What was Jet Set Rodeo was their thing, but Mistico.
Jet Set Mistico? I don't know.
Mistico Speed? I'm not sure. But we had all three of them come out dressed in as Mistico with the Mistico theme song here in Los Angeles, which I thought was pretty special. But
Don Callis family having matching varsity jackets as well.
Very nice.
Okada coming to the ring in one, which was like, that's different.
Tony Khan has said that also. What's the classic? I keep saying Cruiserweight Classic.
Continental
Classic's gonna have jackets and gear made. Like what are those called? Like Adidas tracksuits. You're gonna have like Continental Classic tracksuits, he said. Okay. I'm like, like the G1 does and all that. So but Jet Speed and Mistico versus the Don Callis family. I thought this was a lot of fun. Like all six guys going balls to the wall here with some crazy spots. And like Okada already going down as a GOAT in the world of wrestling. Fletcher on his way to being called one. Like the way this guy's been wrestling the last 2 years, incredible. But I got to shout out Mark Davis, dude. Like this guy has had really unfortunate breaks, but then every time he's given an opportunity, he shines. Like this guy looks like he'd kill you. He'd rip your head off or at least try, and he would not stop until he did, because he's just awesome. I like, again, Okada's in there, Fletcher's in there, but every time this guy is on the scene, like he is just dunking on dudes, the Dunkzilla. But yeah, I thought this was a lot of fun too. I would say this is sort of a breather match for this pay-per-view, but then it got crazy. So then it's just like, oh shit, it's going nuts.
It's a breather match with some of the best wrestlers in the world. You know, like it.
Yeah. Fun match. And I think a shocking upset here. I mean, we just had the titles switch over to the Don Callis family, but now Mistico and Jet Speed win the trios titles from the Don Callis family. And shortly after, it is announced Mistico is all elite. So another dual contract here for another wrestler. But really fun match here. I think this is the right move. Mistico and these two guys are going to put on some crazy trios matches going forward. But yeah, I loved it.
AEW always do these trios matches really well. I liked that they kind of gave Davis his moment. In hindsight, you didn't need a long run with these titles, like Okada and Fletcher. Realistically, we both want to see them in singles matches more. I think this pay-per-view, it's okay to rotate and have pay-per-views where your stars are doing something a little less and still put on a great match. But I also like how this might tie into Hangman as well, because we're going to be getting depressed Hangman coming out of this show, and his two buddies who he was just champions with are already champions with someone else. They've already found someone else. They've already found someone else. So you're going to get the like, no, I'm really happy for you guys. If you're happy, I'm happy. You know, you're going to get that from Hangman. Moving forwards.
We're going to get depressed Hangman again. Drinking Hangman, burning someone's house down Hangman.
Yeah.
That's what drinking leads to, kids. Burning people's houses down. But yeah, it's cool to see Mistico. I mean, he's been killing it. CMLL doing sellouts every week, on track again like they did last year. And I'd say he's come around. Like I think I'm broken record saying this, but like I fucking hated Sin Cara. I love Mistico. Like it is like a completely different person. I feel like he's finally getting some retribution. Look, he's in the Staples Center here. People singing his song, like wins a title, gets a big fat contract. Like, bless him. Yeah, good for him.
He seemed genuinely emotional as well.
He seemed very emotional
with the signing. You know,
even with a mask on, you could tell this was a really big deal for him. So that's what I'm saying. I'm happy he kind of got his flowers with this moment, and he's a great addition to AEW. We saw him all in, and like the people singing in that stadium and just reacting of like he is a big deal with CMLL and everything. So that was pretty cool to see. We went from that to another lucha match. It is Andrade versus Bandido. Was this, if Swerve versus Brody was the AEW's most dangerous man, was this AEW's most sexiest man match? Because that's what it kind of felt like.
Yeah, I felt a little uncomfortable at times watching this one.
You wanted us to leave the room?
I was glad these two didn't pull out the dog collar because I don't know, it was getting a little hot and steamy there in LA, wasn't it? With these two handsome gentlemen.
Like, one of them's wearing a mask, but still, like, there was a lot of pants being torn off. There's a lot of flexing.
So we see it, we see a lot of Speedos in wrestling, but I don't recall seeing Speedos where you can see this much of the upper groin.
A lot of outlining, a lot of division signs here in this mammal toe. Andrade living his best life here. He's like, Tony, I just want to strip and wrestle. And he's like, yeah, all right, go off, King. I was looking forward to this match so much. And yeah, it delivered some great action from these two. Like, these two wrestling like some of the best in 2026. And yeah, I got some great stuff. We got the Bandido doing the Eddie spot and then doing the Benoit spot. German suplexes, triple suplexes. The pants came off from both guys at one point. The X knee is awesome, but Bandido, the one critique I'd say, I know you have definitely said, is that 21 plex where it's like the guy has to be like leaning against the ropes and it's kind of contrived and everything.
I hate it.
Whereas finally he's like down, Andrade's down. So he's like, I'm not waiting for you to lean up against the ropes. I'll just deadlift you. So he bounces off the ropes and as he's backflipping, picks him up and suplexes him.
This looked beautiful, awesome. Like, I want to see that this version of the move is
just make that the version
better.
Yeah, this is the version
better. It looked awesome. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah, that was crazy. And then not to be topped by, like, I love the X knee thing that he does, but whatever this new move, I've never seen him do this where he has
I wish they replayed it. The like back heel.
Yeah.
Thing.
It's like throwing, it's like going for the X knee or like a GTS or whatever. But then when you lift the guy up and go for like a knee strike, he heel kicks you in midair.
Behind you. It was
very like Kenny Omega, Owen Hart.
I think I found it. I'm gonna have to watch this clip again.
Awesome. Like, this could be a finishing move.
To the back of the head. Right. That's it. Yeah. Looked wicked.
These two were going band for band, like showing off essentially with some of the lucha stuff that they could do. Because this was, I don't know if this was my match of the night, but it's definitely up there. Like, it was so entertaining. I think I need to rewatch it of just how good these guys are and how far they've kind of come. And I don't know, it feels a bit of a retribution for Andrade just putting on killer matches again. And then Bandido, who's got a lot of talk last year about being one of the best wrestlers, and finally seeing them do, I need to see it again. I need to see them go at it. 2 out of 3 falls, wrestle again, because this was great. But earlier I got confused when I thought that Moxley won with the paradigm shift, but it's actually the DM off the top rope here, which is a very similar move. The like double underhook spinning neckbreaker brainbuster thing. But this was off the top, and the DM hits more when it's off the top. So Andrade got the win on Bandido as he hangs out with all the ladies in Los Angeles. But yeah, this hit the way I thought it was gonna to be. But Andrade, man, book him, book him for book him against Takeshita, Fletcher, Okada. Like, we got some killers in AEW right now, and I loved this match so much.
I absolutely loved it, especially being this late in the show and still holding your attention. I thought the innovation from Bandido in this match, doing stuff I've never seen before, which is hard to do in 2026. And Andrade, like, finally feeling like you're watching him and he looks motivated and he looks like he's having fun. And having the first character he's really had since, I would say, NXT, because NXT he played, what was it? He was a bit of a party animal, and Zelina Vega had to rein him in a bit and be like, hey, you can have fun, but you're a serious wrestler and you need to be that. Like, what was his character on main roster WWE either time round? I don't know. He was sometimes heel, he was sometimes babyface. He'd hang out with Rey Mysterio for a bit. And his first run in AEW, I'd say the same thing. What was his character? I think here, having him as this, he's in a heel stable, but you know, you like him. He's the bad boy, right? He's a little cheeky. We haven't seen him necessarily be as dickish as some of the Don Callis family, but he's still part of it. He's still a bad guy, but look at him. How can you hate this guy? He's so handsome. And then like doing the cheeky stuff with the women at ringside, but then being able to pull off these matches. And he's had a few now on return. He's been featured on TV every week. He hasn't been, you know, the first time round. He'll have a couple of matches, disappear for months. You get a vignette, he's coming back. He'll come back, have a match. He'll have a feud with Darby, disappear again. Seems a bit more focused. And I think he probably realizes now, okay, this is it now. I can't be fucking around. Like, I'm happy where I am. I'm not wishing I was at somewhere else. The grass isn't always greener, and the grass is pretty green here, and it's being watered quite regularly. So let's have a good time in AEW. And I'd say he's reaping the rewards. And I think you could see him maybe not on a pay-per-view, but I see him as a challenger for MJF. I think you're going to have a lot of title defenses with MJF, and I think some might be heel and heel dynamics, because I could see a Swerve MJF match. I could see an Andrade MJF match. And I think we've seen with Death Riders, Don Callis family stuff, Tony isn't afraid of doing that and being, let you pick. Who do you like more out of these two? Who has the more babyface traits out of these heels? And I felt this match and the Brody King Swerve match felt like unofficial, okay, who's moving up to the higher end of the mid card right now and pushing that main event ceiling?
Yeah, I definitely think Andrade could be used in like a match like this, like a singles match closer to the main event towards the end of the show. But people, like the real fans, were getting into this, and maybe if you were casual or you got dragged to the show or dragged to watch or whatever, this turned up the heat, and then you were like, oh shit, like this is pretty good, these two. So I kind of wanted them to run it back, but selfishly, Dynasty, Takeshita versus Andrade, please.
Okay.
Give me what I want, Tony Khan.
That's Takeshita. The first step of the like Takeshita being removed from the group.
Yeah.
He's going to be the Moxley now. He's going to have to
Andrade,
remember.
Andrade can cheat, or that's where Don is like, you know what? Cheat here. I'm going to help Andrade to kick you out. So yeah, Andrade, man, this match was awesome. I can't wait to see what else he does in 2026, because yeah, I think he's finally found, like, I just think back to, I know your favorite match maybe ever, Johnny and Andrade. Like, he's found why people called you so good in the first place. You finally like went back, you dialed it back to wherever you needed to go to get to this, because damn, man, you're good. And Bandido, like, fuck, he's impressive. I could have watched these guys wrestle for like an hour. So, but this show, it was probably already like fucking midnight by the time of this show, because then we went from that to a match that definitely needed to be on this pay-per-view. The Dogs versus the Cats. Darby Allin, Orange Cassidy, Roderick Strong versus David Finlay, Clark Connors, and Gabe Kidd. War ready. You know what? Fine match. There was some cool stuff. That fucking spear from Clark Connors to Darby on the Big E spear, if you will. That was some scary shit. And then also that like skateboard ollie to the back of the head of Gabe Kidd looked absolutely painful. So I imagine that pissed him off. But you know what? There was some cool stuff in this match, but I was getting pretty tired. It was almost midnight at this point, and this match was added this week on TV. I just felt like maybe it didn't need to be on it. Mind you, I like all the guys in this match. I just don't know if we needed it on this show particular, but yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed this match. I think, yes, it didn't necessarily need to be on the show, but you have just introduced David Finlay, and I think people go in these shows, you know, want to see Orange Cassidy, want to see Darby Allin. It gets them on there, and it still held my attention. Like, there was some crazy spots in this, that skateboard off the head of
that was insane.
And nuts. And
like that probably hurt. Like I've been hit in the head by a skateboard and the trucks on it. Like, oh, I was feeling for that dude. But Gabe Kidd in LA saying, fuck New Japan, I'm all AEW. This guy switches up like wasn't he all about New Japan this, AEW sucks, and now it's the other way around. But he's a heel. So.
I think for me as well, like it's often not length of show, but pacing of show. And for me, I know the criticism every time is these shows are too long. Personally, I'm bored of it by now. Like it's been the case for years. You know, they clearly aren't changing. They're clearly not taking that criticism on board. But I loved every match on this show, and some of them were so good. And yes, this was probably the one. If you had to cut a match, you probably cut this. You'd probably cut maybe that Babes of Wrath match. But you want your women on the show as well. Like but I didn't fight. Like I'm like, what else am I going to be doing? It's a Sunday night. Like I think I'm a bit more of a night owl anyway, so I don't like 12:30 isn't particularly late for me. This is also on the West Coast, so you're leaving this show at 9:30 in the evening. You're not putting this in New York. It's a different story. Like it's long. It's long. People have transit cuts off and things like that. But I think if it's a good show and you're invested, I think if you go in knowing it's going to be long, like for me personally, I had a good time. I had my friends over. I'm eating tacos. I'm having drinks.
I love this show.
I didn't feel tired in this show, where some of them maybe I have because there have been maybe more matches that didn't hit. But when the hit rate is, the quality is as good as it was on this one, I personally didn't feel the fatigue last night.
I think maybe the crowd too. Okay, so if it's West Coast, it means this is during the day, right? Like if this was 8 o'clock for us, what does that mean? Like 6, 5 o'clock?
It was 5 p.m. start. Yeah.
So like that's definitely explaining why maybe the crowd weren't as tired as maybe some shows that they do on the East Coast. But because by the time the main event started, it was like midnight. Like this show went off the air at I think 12:36, 12:37. Like I will say, love this show. Maybe already in the running for a show of the year, and I'm hoping that we get a show better than this because like this was fucking lit. I love this show so much. But my one criticism remains that you could have cut some stuff because I didn't need to finish this show at 12:37. You know what I mean? Like the show started at 8. Mind you, I did not watch the pre-show. I usually try to. And if I did, that's another hour on top. It's just a lot. It's just like it is a lot to ask of like, man, I gotta eat multiple times. This is like 5 hours in between. Like I understand the criticisms because this was a Sunday night pay-per-view. You're saying, oh, that don't matter for me. Like most people wake up the next morning to go to work on Monday today. And like going to bed at 1 a.m. isn't the normal for a lot of people. And I totally
you don't have to watch it all in one go though. Like
I know, but like,
do you know what I mean?
It is still a fair criticism to say these shows go too fucking long. It is because they do. And that is like this match could have been on Dynamite and maybe got more like time or importance. I totally get what you're saying. Like, hey, as long as they're good, who cares if they're going long? I totally understand. I'm just like, I totally see the other side of like, fuck, do we really like the main event's going to go 40 minutes and it's starting at midnight? Like,
I don't know. I just feel it's so easy to watch this thing the next day. It's so easy to turn it off, go to bed when you're ready to go to bed. Like I think the more issue is quite often burning out your live crowd, which I didn't think they seemed burned out yesterday. As I said, I don't think you can push it as much, or you shouldn't be pushing it as much as this when you're on the East Coast. But I don't know. For me, it's people watch all sorts for hours in the day. They'll sit and put on binge a whole Netflix series. Like if you like wrestling, if you enjoy this product, I don't know. That's me. I don't necessarily get the fatigue. It's a criticism a lot of people have, but I just hear that about things for everything. Oh, this movie's 2.5 hours. It's like people don't want to watch it.
I don't care about that.
People want everything to be bite-sized things. I don't know. It doesn't bother me at all.
Like for me, I much prefer this than a 3-hour show with like an hour tops of actual wrestling.
100%.
Like and then the rest is commercials and entrances and jelly roll or whatever. Like I'd much prefer like I loved this show. This is easily one of the best shows I've watched, and this clears any WWE show I've watched in a long time, in my opinion. I really love the wrestling, but my one critique always is the same, is like, did we need it to go to 12:37 in the fucking morning?
I would say yes, because I enjoyed this top to bottom and had a great night. So
like, fantastic
yes.
pay-per-view. Like, yeah, if I had to cut a match, I'd say this one just maybe didn't need to be on it. But again, it also lets people chill out, especially if you're there. Hey, maybe I'm going to conserve some energy. Maybe I'm going to run for a pee right now before the main event, because I know that's going to be the one I can't miss. So doing it on the West Coast, you could see that the crowd were way more awake than they would have been if it was midnight in New York, say. But look, Double or Nothing is going to be on the East Coast. Maybe they make it during the day. Like, Dynasty is going to be on the West Coast. I think
they should consider moving things earlier especially when it's on the East Coast. Yeah.
I'd much prefer like a 5-hour show, like all in.
Those daytime shows last year were great.
Yeah, like daytime makes my like, I can do it. I can, like, maybe I'm getting too old where I'm like, fuck, 12:30, 1 o'clock is a little late to be watching this, but on a Sunday night. But if it's during the day, then my energy is still there and everything, right? But like, Dynasty is on the West Coast, so, and it's a Sunday. I imagine it goes to the same thing where it's going to go till 12:30 East Coast time, but for the West Coast, it's way earlier. So again, that is literally, out of the whole show, my one criticism on this was it was really late when it ended. Maybe my other criticism, agents in the matches that they're producing should maybe check if people are going to do the kick out on 1 3 matches in a row. That's my only other criticism from this show. I love the kick out on 1 when warranted. Moose doesn't count when you do it. It just felt like maybe they didn't check in on, like, oh, you working the leg, brother? Oh, you are? Okay, I'm gonna work the arm. Just felt like that was something that I noticed. But let's go to the main event, which definitely took up a lot of time. But the main event, Texas Death Match, the champion MJF defending against Hangman Page. Did we find out what theme song? I didn't look up what his theme was, but this was definitely Ennio, who does all those like retro movie scores, and like Hangman came out to, I know, was it that Whistler who did A Handful of Dollars More or something, the Clint Eastwood.
The trumpet player.
Yeah, so I feel like this was one of them as well, and I feel like it's cool when he switches up the different theme. Like, I love his theme, but that's a rip of an Ennio theme, the Fistful of Dollars. But love when Hangman uses the different cowboy themes as he's going into Texas Death. But then, oh boy, he was outdone with a fantastic intro from MJF. A little home movie with MJF in his own Western, with him on a horse with a Burberry poncho and a Burberry cowboy hat to match the Triple B championship. And then he pisses on the grave of Hangman and then does a little bit of the Austin Powers pee bit where he just keeps peeing. And then shows up in LA with not only the hat and the poncho, but Terry Funk inspired tights for his Texas Death Match. I was smitten with this whole intro from MJF. I was like, he's just so fucking good. He's got everything here. I love the fact that he puts Burberry into anything that he can do. And the Clint Eastwood inspired poncho Burberry, the future Halloween costume ideas right here is MJF dressed as Terry Funk. Love this intro here for these two. And then it got really violent. So violent. Put the kids away. Could you imagine taking your kids to this match? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Holy shit. I'll say I loved it, but I could understand people not loving this maybe as much as I did, but you're just a bunch of wimps if you didn't, I guess. This was crazy. Where do we start? Staple guns, light tubes. I'm not doing that indie bullshit, and then proceeds to grab a light tube and get thrown through glass. Loved that. MJF is just so fun to hate. He gets it. He gets wrestling. He's not just the cool heel. He's just a dickhead that you love to root against. And you got the main hero, Hangman of AEW, versus the main villain here in this very violent match. What was funny was MJF cleaning the ring at one point. I've never seen a heel do that.
Like trying to get the trying to get the glass out the ring because he's not wrestling on that.
I thought that was hilarious. There was some really cool stuff in this, including like barbed wire through the mouth. These guys were if you thought Nick Jackson was bleeding in that opening match, MJF was a bloody mess. There was the pitchforks? No, not pitchfork, not the pitchfork. What are the sticks? The barbecue skewers?
Yeah, the skewers.
Oh man, this is gonna fuck up his new hairline here. I was worried for him here, but what a spot where he then sticks the skewers in his head and then hits the buckshot and they go flying everywhere. Ugh. That was the $1 million shot, but not enough to keep him down. Eventually, Hangman gets the dog collar because MJF has said that he's still terrified
after the Punk match at Revolution.
So that was a cool like callback and tie-in here where they're now tethered together. We had the crowd chant, "We want fire," where Hangman's like, well, who's got a lighter? And no one gave him one, so we didn't get fire. But if you're thinking, I really wish they lit each other on fire. Instead, they use needles. And oh boy, did they use needles. What did you think of the needle in the mouth spot?
I don't really understand it. Okay, it's gross. Like, it's the only thing that like really made me feel uncomfortable watching it. And I guess to that, like, it's doing its job. It's making you shouldn't feel easy watching a Texas death match. And it's the things that separate it from all your other street fights or no DQ matches, right? This is that and then some. We're gonna get gruesome, we're gonna get violent. I just don't understand what you're trying to achieve from it. Like, because it's just a needle. Like, I thought when we saw it the first time in the cage match, is Hangman like trying to
drug him,
sedate him or something like that? And I was thinking the same thing here. And it's like, no, he's just giving him a cheek piercing, really. And the visual of it being stuck in his mouth as he's still wrestling, like, just made me feel a bit sick. So it's the logic behind it. I don't really understand. It had an effect, though. It made me feel uneasy, which is the job of these matches, right? Like, I watch a horror film to be scared. Like, and I can come out and be like, yeah, it was fine. I didn't really get scared, but I want to have a jump or whatever. So I guess I feel the same with Texas Death in a way.
I feel I liked this one more than when Hangman used it on Swerve in that cage. Like, this time around, MJF is like, I think says like verbally as he's getting it, like, oh, I've seen what you've done before. You like playing with needles. Well, hey, you like Hangman brought out the dog collar, and then MJF is bringing out this. So they're referencing things in their past here in AEW. But I was gagging. I was covering my eyes like watching a Saw movie. Right. I was like,
exactly 100%. Yeah.
Like, I think this is going a little bit too far for me personally, but this is become like an AEW calling card as they get violent. Like, this is the world title Texas Death. I feel a little two ways about it. Like, I probably could have done without it, but then I would have been like, oh, why didn't they get to the next level of violence? They definitely did. The one thing missing was fire. Like, at one point, someone's got to pull out a gun in AEW or a fucking machete or a sword or something. Cause it's like, he stuck it through his face and then he was like shooting out water out of it. It was like, I almost wish that MJF like admits maybe on TV in the future, like, I did drug him and that's why he passed out. There was something in there. You like easy eat him here or something. Like, he stuck him with something, and eventually the drugs kicked in and Hangman passed out. And that's like, I've seen Kurt Angle use a tranquilizer gun in WWE. Yeah. So, I mean, I've seen scary things, but yeah, the match continued. Then there was like exploding tables, and then the best chant was
so what they fought by the production area, like by the pyro and stuff, and
so they land onto the pyro machine. It looked like Hangman, when they went through the table, had the iPad that controlled the pyro, because it kept going off. And we were watching with some friends, and our friends were like, why would the pyro keep going off? And I'm like, no, wait, look, I think it's because it's like he might accidentally be like, accidentally, pushing it and it's going off and everything. But and then he literally dog walked him. Well, he rode him like a horse with the barbed wire, but then he literally dog walked him as the crowd chanted, "He's a good boy," to MJF. Stay true, LA. But the shocking finish with the chain being brought out, and instead of Hangman hanging someone, it was MJF hanging the Hangman to put him to sleep. He didn't tap out, but he was gassed out, and the ref counts 10.
He then kicked his face into the camera, so his blood's all over the camera lens.
Oh, what a shot that was. But MJF beats Hangman in the Texas Death and then stands on his carcass as he's being rolled out on this gurney thing. And he stands tall, and the great finishing shot is just him standing holding up the title as he's finally done it. He's beaten Hangman in a very violent match. This was definitely for the sickos, I think.
Yeah, I thought this was an effective match. It wasn't my favorite match on the show, I don't think, but I definitely felt something coming out of it. I felt uneasy a lot of the time. I liked how Hangman was trying to drag MJF literally at some points into this match. Like Hangman right away comes ready to kill someone, and MJF starts off by doing some of his comedy bullshit to try and get out of it. So yeah, I enjoyed that. The needle did make me feel uneasy. And I genuinely felt like disappointed at the end because of the stipulation with Hangman not being able to challenge again. Yeah. I felt like, fuck, I don't think that's the right move. We'll let it play out. Apparently, Tony Khan in the presser said, same thing with Cody, a gentleman's handshake. He's somebody that is known for being a man of his word. We made a verbal agreement, so it's a verbal contract. So I imagine down the road one day with a Hangman heel turn, when he's less of an honorable man, he'll go against this. I think it would maybe be more effective if he hadn't done the heel turn before. I feel that would have been more effective with Cody's character turning heel than Hangman's character. And I am a bit concerned what it does for him and how you still keep him in the mix, because it was a detriment to Cody's booking, I think, not being able to interact in that. So I had a level of disappointment coming out of it from there, but I also had a level of disappointment because I like Hangman and he's the good guy in this story and he lost the match. So I'd say it was effective because I felt a lot of things watching this thing.
Yeah, and it makes you want to watch the show of like what's going to happen. And I can't believe, like, the story for me is MJF was chasing that I've never beaten you, right? So like that's definitely a wrinkle into like I finally beat Hangman, and in his own match by hanging. Like that's top tier heel stuff he's going to have on AEW. I beat the main character, therefore I am the main character now. If there was the debate before that, I'm the main character now. I'm the captain now, essentially. I don't know. Like, I think it felt like the big epic. I wouldn't compare it to like last year's Texas Death, but maybe this was my match of the night because it did gross me out in certain things, but it had my like full interest. And as much as I was tired at the match starting at midnight, it's still like, this is the type of match that gets you back into it. And the crowd definitely were oohing and awing to some of the spots and the gore in the match. So I'd say it was a highlight of the show for me, but maybe personally not my favorite match on the show, and definitely not my favorite Texas Death, but I fucking love MJF and I love Hangman. So this was real violent, and Hangman could go back on his word. What if like in a year, 2 years, Hangman fights MJF again, and instead of turning heel, he's just like, no, fuck that. I'm going back on my word because I want that title. Like,
I think the other thing is whether you do it as like a career match. You know, it's like
put my career on the line.
Yeah, I'm the only, like, he's trying to get away to get this title, and it's either my career or the title, and that's how you. And against MJF would be effective, like, because it could be an MJF trying to bring that out of Hangman. But I do think, as you said, I think you probably need to leave it 2 years before you try and retcon.
I mean, Hangman's got to go away for a while after this. He was killed in this match, in his own match. He was hung by MJF. So, like, really, he needs to go away for a little while. So, Hangman versus CM Punk at WrestleMania Saudi is the direction I think we're going with this. Wasn't it a year ago I got really drunk on our Elimination Chamber Toronto podcast, and I was like, fuck it, Hangman's Punk is the biggest match you could do in the world of wrestling, and I'm pulling through, Hanger. Let's go to the Fed. You know, your time's over. You did everything here. What else are you gonna do in AEW? I'm not actually wanting him to go to WWE, but like, fuck, that would be the biggest match ever. But Hangman's not a draw, of course, as people on the internet like to tell me. But I love this match. It wasn't my favorite of the two of either of like these Texas deaths or stuff, but I still really enjoyed it. What was your match of the night on this pay-per-view? There was a few to choose from.
I just love this show top to bottom.
Yeah, me too.
Like, I don't, and so different in styles. Like, I really enjoyed Bucks FTR. I felt maybe I wasn't quite ready for it right at the top of the show. Like, it's, but I really enjoyed that. Man, the Continental title match was great. Andrade,
the Bucks
Bandido.
match. Yeah, those are the ones.
Maybe the main event, actually. Like, it certainly felt ways about it. But honestly, just I thought just top to bottom, just a really high quality show, which I had a great evening watching the whole thing.
Three Revolutions, like 3 years in a row of Revolution, like crushing.
Revolution, always one of the top ones. Last year, they kind of had the stinker main event, but yeah, I thought this was really solid. And especially seeing that they haven't had a pay-per-view for about 3 months, I thought this was a great one to come back with.
They like slammed this home. Like, this was a home run. Like, considering you had the stuff with Will Ospreay returning, Kenny showing up, getting some hype for that next show. Like, Ronda Rousey, whether you agree or disagree if that's good or bad for AEW business, I think it is. And I think that's there's a lot of talking points coming out of this. I feel like they've really hit a stride in the last few months with AEW, and this pay-per-view was total proof of that. Like, I was expecting them to crush it, and they definitely went beyond expectations. So solid match. I would say the Bucks match, maybe the main event, everything was great, like top to bottom. One of my favorite pay-per-views they've done in every pay-per-view is usually like that. They were always like, oh, this was totally worth the money. We should say, how did we watch this pay-per-view?
Yeah, we used my AEW for the first time.
Yeah, we tried it out. Shout out VPNs, but we tried my AEW, and it worked pretty good. Like, we didn't have any issues. There was maybe a cutout during like the women's tag title match for like a second or two, but like, I felt that it ran better than what we've used.
I think we had just one blackout point, right? And which was for like 30 seconds during the women's match. But apart from that, worked really well. Still trying to, like, so we used a VPN to watch this, and I know I had some issues trying to cast it, so had to download the actual app to get it to work, but quality was really good, and hopefully this is a great service moving forward.
Yeah,
we'll have to see how it is with Dynamite this week and stuff. But
so you pay like a yearly thing, and you get all the pay-per-views and Dynamite.
Yeah.
Right? So like that's pretty solid.
And all the Ring of Honor stuff as well.
What? No way.
Yeah.
I guess. Wait, do you get old Ring of Honor, like the old stuff?
I think they're building. I think they're building up the archive. Like, it's more like the newer stuff. But you know, it might, like, I don't watch the Ring of Honor shows, but the fact that it's on something that I have now, especially the pay-per-views, I might be more inclined to check out a bit more than I was before.
Right. No, it ran smoothly. Sometimes I know we would use Triller, and like there'd be some issues here and there, or audio sometimes would be off for me personally. But this time, it's cool that they have an app in some way, shape, or form. I think they're nervous about the whole Triller Fight TV thing, so this could be a move in the right direction. For us, Canada, you got to watch Dynamite on TSN, and we used to pay for the TSN app, but it stinks. So we've switched over to using Triller, as many Canadians that we know use alternative means like that to watch Dynamite on TV. Also, we're millennials and Gen Zers who don't even know what the fuck cable TV is in these day and age. So using apps and streaming services, I think, is the right move for anything: movies, TV shows, wrestling, sports, whatever. So definitely moving forward with, I like the fact that they're making it way more easier. Like for me, WWE on Netflix is so easy to not just watch, but to tell people, hey, if you want to watch more wrestling, you can watch literally any WrestleMania or Rumble ever at your fingertips. And I think that just more accessibility for wrestling makes more people want to watch it. So good stuff with my AEW, but solid pay-per-view with Revolution. They crushed it. Definitely looking forward to Dynasty, looking forward to the next few months. Like, I just feel like they've really been crushing it, and I'm getting it all. Like I'm feeling it. I'm excited to watch the next ones. I'm excited to see where we go next with some of these stories and characters. So yeah,
they've got my attention at the moment. I think they've had a real solid run of Dynamites. Like, man, we didn't even get a chance to talk about like Speedball and Fletcher that happened this week, which was again like one of our matches of the year last year. And just
fuck it, Dynasty round 3. Fuck it.
Like, those two have an incredible chemistry, and I'd absolutely love to see that again. And I even like the bullshit finish, because it protected Speedball, and like it should be like Speedball's a bit of an albatross for Fletcher. So I thought that was great. Another solid Dynamite. And I'm really excited with everything moving forward.
The one thing I didn't necessarily love the press conference, because the crowd were just booing it right away. Cause I was like, oh wait, you're not doing it in the ring. And then like the crowd caught on there, and then they did like a fake press conference to then set up to them fighting in the ring anyways.
I appreciate trying something different. You know, I appreciated the idea, trying to make this feel like more sports-like and all that, but it didn't work. It was a failure. And you know, you learn from it and move on, and hopefully don't try something like that again. Yeah, you can do it in the ring. But yeah, didn't work. It almost felt like it should have been like that video package. I thought was awesome, showing right back from the first All In and the first Double or Nothing with the Battle Royal and all that. I think they could have maybe ended the show with that, and then go to YouTube for this press conference we've got going on, if you wanted to do that, and do more of the online buzz thing. Like, oh, look what happened after the show, maybe, but it didn't work.
But they still set up this pay-per-view really well. Like, I already had my attention from some of the weeks before with Hangman, and that's, you know, the stipulation of the match and everything. But solid Dynamite, and I don't know exactly what they have announced for Wednesday night, but Tony's been crushing it, so definitely looking forward to whatever they got going on this week. And then in about a month you're going to be going on vacation, but then you've booked your vacation to land in Vancouver, and then we're going to go to Dynasty. So I'm fucking, like, again, if we didn't have tickets and then we watched this show last night, regardless, we would be going to this show, because it's like, fuck, Canada is going to be wild for AEW in about a month for Dynasty. So fucking looking forward to that.
Yeah, we'll see if I change my tune on show length after coming back with a 13-hour time difference. We'll see then. But super excited, really excited for Dynasty and seeing things starting to shape up.
Shout out if you are in the West Coast or you're going to be traveling for Dynasty. I know that's in about a little bit. Reach out, recommendations, Vancouver. We have a few days and we're going to be hopping around, bar hopping and whatnot. But if there's enough people reaching out, I know some listeners here are in the West Coast and have mentioned and reached out that they will be making their way to Dynasty. You know, maybe we'll hang out or something before the show or whatnot that weekend. Me and Davie, we do have tickets to Mystery Wrestling in Vancouver, which I'm really stoked about. So if you're in town for that, I know some people have reached out that they've bought tickets since hearing about it through our show. So definitely looking forward to meeting some West Coast people that maybe have never traveled to our ends here in the 6, but have been longtime listeners or whatnot. So please reach out on X or why did I just call it X? Twitter or Instagram or whatever. Like, would love to link up and have some
meetups in those ends, if you will. But this Tuesday we'll be live on Up Next on Post Wrestling, and I feel like I wanted to talk about some other stuff, but we've gone really long. But
I would, just before we go, because it was a big angle, we won't labor on much, but would like to talk about the end of SmackDown for the main event of WrestleMania. Randy Orton, wrong graphic there. Randy Orton laying out Cody Rhodes and just killing him.
Yeah, I watched this today. Randy Orton, Cody's sitting there like, Randy, I just love you, bro. You're my bro, and I love you so much. And Randy's like, I do too. Bang, kills him. So funny.
What I liked from this is it almost felt like Cody gave him permission. I thought the setup was pretty good with and I wasn't expecting the turn here. I thought we'd get a turn from one of them at some point. I saw it maybe being like, maybe because we've just watched and are chatting about WrestleMania 17, but I saw it more like that, where, Austin turns heel because he needs this. I need this more than anything. And the verbiage has been very similar with Randy, where like, I need this title. I need to prove I'm still the guy. And I saw it maybe being more like a finish of WrestleMania 17 with Randy turning heel on Cody and picking up the win. But doing it here, I like the setup with Randy starting being like, I thought it was going to be Drew. And like the reading between the lines was, I was ready to do really nasty shit to Drew McIntyre, but now it's you. And that is a bit more difficult. And we saw him have the hesitation with the punts in the King of the Ring match, which cost him. And then Cody being like, nah, man, I need the Legend Killer. I need the Viper. And whatever happens, I love you. And Randy's like, oh, okay then. And then does it. So it's a heel turn, but I don't know. It feels a little different.
They cheered it. They did not boo it.
No, and I don't think they will be booing him in Vegas either. But it's been a while since we've seen this version of Randy, and he does play it very well. So it got me more interested in this match than I was before. So for me, it was a successful angle.
It needed this, because if you were just doing, oh, I love you, bro. Oh, I love you too. Oh, we're gonna have such a good match. It's like, okay, well, it's just funny that 3 years in a row, it's Cody getting his absolute ass kicked.
I was gonna say, must be WrestleMania season. Yeah. Cody's bleeding.
I'd say like this is definitely a way more interesting dynamic going into it. It's just funny because I think the crowds and the people just want Cody as a heel now. I think we've reached this Cena like level of, oh, actually, we're a little bored of this right now. And then having him beat Drew just a few weeks ago, and then now the storyline, Randy being like, oh, we all thought it was Drew. I thought it was Drew. Is kind of like, no one booed Randy here. They were cheering for, and then Randy comes back and nails him again, and the crowd are cheering even more. So WrestleMania, I feel like no matter what the story is, people will be cheering for Randy.
Could you do like a double turn after Mania? So like I'd have Randy win this title, I think.
16 time, or would this be 15?
It will be 15, which I think overtakes Triple H. I think, isn't Triple H 14? So whether Triple H will book that or not, who knows?
No, Triple H comes in at the end and wins.
Yeah. But would you be able to do, maybe you do this match, you have this level of violence going into it, and in the match itself, Randy wins, and then Raw after Mania, Randy calls out Cody and is like apologetic almost. He's like, you understood, I did what I had to do. You asked for it, Cody. You asked for the Legend Killer. You wanted the real me. And Cody accepts it. And then Cody kicks Randy in the balls. And you can somehow do a double turn that way. And you now have heel Cody on the hunt, because I want to see Randy be the champion. I don't think anyone wants a long Randy Orton reign. And you could kind of flip it back like in one of the pay-per-views shortly after, and then go full force with a heel Cody run, perhaps.
I don't know if we need Randy as champion though. I don't know. Like, is that something they'll do? They did Cena beat Cody last year in such a like awful way that maybe you'd want him to like have this defiant, like actually get a win back. Cause
I know he won 2 years ago and finished the story, but the night before that, The Rock pinned him. And last year, Cena pinned him. And now you're saying Randy pins him. So
yeah, he's the anti-legend killer, legend loser.
The opposite. Yeah, essentially. Yeah, I'd say this is like some heat added to this WrestleMania build. In fact, really the only thing. I tried watching the rest of SmackDown. I'm like, okay, it's still this and Punk Roman, definitely the two big matches. And I think we really needed Randy to do this. And maybe people were expecting Cody to turn heel. I'm not quite sure, but I liked the callbacks to Cody mentioning Randy pointing at the sign when the pyro didn't go off and getting mad at Stu. That was such a fucking funny moment back in that. I need Cody's rebuttal. Now Cody's going to be different because I was like, bro, I just told you I love you. And this is the version of Randy I want at WrestleMania. So maybe Randy punts him and pins him at WrestleMania, and that's it. He's been waiting to do that punt since Kevin Owens, and then he got taken out, and he's got this punt loaded up. Did he punt Joe Hendry last year? I forget.
I don't think no, they were teasing because it was going to be Owens Randy, and that was the big thing they were teasing with the punt. I don't think he's done it yet.
Okay, so fuck it. He punts Cody and wins is basically what happens. Or he doesn't because he hesitates again. And then at Backlash, he does it or something. But I don't know. Give Randy the 15th time, I guess. You've convinced me. And I don't care who wins. I just hope it's like some good story and some good wrestling. I'm hoping for. But yeah, I thought the attack was good. Like Randy getting cheered for killing Cody. And personally cheering him on when he got in the face of Jelly Roll, who should not be getting involved in this. Jelly Roll, like, take my life, but Randy, please don't attack Jelly Roll. How could you do this? Is Jelly Roll going to be in the corner of Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania, or is he busy wrestling at WrestleMania? I guess, but
I think he's going to be in a tag match at WrestleMania.
Rolls Royce.
Yeah, that's the rumor. Yeah, Royce Keys and Jelly Roll versus Miz and Kit Wilson. And I imagine Danhausen involved somehow, probably in the corner of Rolls Royce.
This whatever you just said sounds awesome. I can't wait. Jelly Roll, Miz, and Danhausen.
I enjoyed the set. It was probably the only other good thing on SmackDown this week. I had some fun from it.
Danhausen.
I think you can see like Jelly Roll seems to genuinely love it. He looks in great shape as well and did well in the Randy tag. So I'm for it. We were talking earlier about variety, right? Like you want a bit of variety on your shows. And it's a way Kit Wilson is somewhat over at the moment. It's a way of getting him on the show. I think it's a way of tying in a little Danhausen on the show as well. I'm all for it personally.
Just like how I feel so like invested and like, dare I say, excited as a fan watching certain wrestling. And then WrestleMania season, that's how I should be feeling about WrestleMania coming up. I don't, though. So it's like, I feel still like, oh man, like I wish I got as excited as I did about some of this other stuff about WrestleMania, but I just still am not like, okay, all right. But I did like Randy turning on Cody. That is totally something we needed. So definitely a step in the right direction. I'd say the two main matches that actually matter, that actually count, the two world title matches, they got some heat finally going into this. So good.
The card's starting to come together. I think we'll have we'll probably get a bit of direction of the Gunther match coming up probably Monday. The Brock match is going to be set pretty soon, I would imagine. The rest of the card's going to fall together. And they're starting, like, I'm starting to get more excited. Like, there's a couple of things I'm interested in now going to WrestleMania, and we'll see how the rest of the card forms.
I'm definitely excited to watch WrestleMania with all our friends in Toronto, because if you're in the Toronto area, the GTA, we are hosting a WrestleMania watch party both Saturday and Sunday, April 18th and 19th at National in the Well, downtown Toronto. We're going to have WrestleMania both nights. All the screens, our projector, the sound on.
We're going to have some drink specials, some crazy raffles that we're going to announce some awesome prizes in the next few weeks, as well as, giveaways and games and all the fun stuff that we do. For anyone listening who's come out to our parties, thank you. Hope to see you at WrestleMania. And we get so many messages about people from all over the world who message us like, oh, I wish I'd rather come to your parties than actually go to these events sometimes. And thank you for these kind comments. They don't go unnoticed because we get a ton of them like, hey, we're there in spirit. And I really do appreciate that. But if you're in the Toronto area, come by and watch WrestleMania because we're going to have a party in Toronto in about a month and some change, almost over a month at this point. But WrestleMania at the Well, Poisonrana.ca for link to the tickets on our Eventbrite there. But really looking forward to this. This venue that we found, National, has been awesome to us. They're a great bar with great food, drinks, and some great people. So definitely looking forward to this. I'm looking for my excitement for WrestleMania is this watch party because we've had some fun at this new venue. It's massive. It's great.
Yeah, super excited. Gonna be really fun. Hope as many of you can make it as possible. We'll get some last quick plugs out the way. We normally start the show with plugs, but we had a lot to get through. And then we'll get out of here. We do have a Patreon, if you're not aware, patreon.com/poisonrana, where we do a bunch of shows weekly. We've got a show called Up Yours, where we're joined by some of our top subscribers for their picks of what they'd like us to talk about. Recently, we talked about Beyond the Mat, the 1999 documentary. That was a great pick from Jake. Had a lot of fun talking about that.
You gotta. I rarely pat ourselves on the back, but second time I will shout out our discussion on the next Denzel.
Yes, absolutely.
New Jack.
Like
our conversation, we like to crack people. I think our MO for doing these silly wrestling podcasts, we like to pop you guys listening. We like to talk about wrestling and everyone have a laugh and have a good time. But when we can have a laugh ourselves, we were just having way too much fun discussing New Jack as Denzel. But that made for a great review. Shout out Jake for a great pick. We've recently reviewed Ready Player One, Kill Bill Part 2, and Cactus Chris, our former Up Next Rumble winner in the past, has selected a smorgasbord of 90s UK kids TV shows, including Art Attack, The Demon Headmaster, Funhouse, was that it?
Yeah.
And Marion's Mate, Zapped,
News Round, and Maid Marian and Her Merry Men.
So for some UK listeners, they're like, wait, what? You guys were reviewing this? And some North American listeners are like, sorry, what? I don't know any of those things. Maybe Art Attack or Demon Headmaster. But yes, made for a very fun podcast talking about some old retro nostalgia, kids shows from the 90s. Lots of discussion about Art Attack, to be honest. If you like Neil Buchanan, which there's no Neil Buchanan slander ever on this podcast. But yeah,
that was absolutely not. And turns out he wasn't Banksy. The big reveal of who Robin Gunningham has been revealed as Banksy. You still think it's Neil Buchanan?
That's what they want. That's what Neil would want you to think. Of course, this is
Neil Buchanan is Robin Gunningham, who is Banksy. Right. It's like a Russian doll thing.
And then they're in a metal band. Yeah.
Tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day, which means late tonight I'll be dropping our latest Leprechaun review. Can you believe
a leprechaun?
We've done 6 of these fucking terrible movies, and this time we're talking about the Leprechaun going back to the hood.
I think these movies break Davie more than maybe Ninja Turtles have broken Davie. These have put me to the test, and this is not anyone picking it. This is just something we've chosen to do. But when we got to like the third one, we're like, well, we're already halfway there and we're at 6, and trust me, we've thought about throwing in the towel on this series, but now we only have 2 left, so we might as well, and one of them has Hornswoggle, so we might as well continue the St. Patrick's Day.
We've only got 2 left now.
We can't give up now. So for anyone who wants to follow along our St. Patrick's Day tradition, we have reviewed every single Leprechaun movie leading up to this one, which now we are in the hood with Leprechaun hitting the bong again. That's the highlight of the movie. We just saved you an hour and a half.
And finally, with me going away, we are banking some shows, and we're in the midst of recording a very big show for the 25th anniversary of WrestleMania X7.
Yeah, this is awesome. We've obviously reviewed some matches from this show, but highly regarded, one of the best WWF shows ever, or best WrestleMania ever, which I think most fans unanimously agree. But finally, we review it in full. We're talking about Rock Austin, TLC 2, and so much. Oh, Raven, Big Show, and Kane in the hardcore triple threat. Oh, 5 stars. What a magical experience watching that back all these years later. 25th anniversary of WrestleMania 17. Yes, you are getting old. 25 years ago. So that will be coming out. We'll drop it on April 1st on our Patreon. But so many shows. We do so many. We just did Best Match Ever, AJ Styles in TNA, and the second show, AJ in New Japan. So we do retro wrestling pay-per-views, movie reviews. We've got you covered. Hundreds of hours of podcasts, and it's $5 to access this. It connects to your RSS feed and your podcast app. We are 2 independent podcasters, and $5 is what can get you access to all the shows that we do, and helps us continue on our journey of silly wrestling adjacent podcasts. But appreciate everyone out there listening. Hey, if you're like $5 is tough, the world's a scary place right now, you can do so much for us by following us here on our YouTube or Spotify. Give us a 5-star review, Apple Podcasts, or give us a follow on Instagram and Facebook. It goes such a long way. But appreciate all the friends and frogs out there who keep us going. We will be back on Post Wrestling up next Tuesday night. We will be back very soon. That is it. That is all. Take care. Goodbye and be safe.
Ahoy!